shit. MMG shit. I'm the same nigga, 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 same old street nigga. I'm the same nigga, same old trap nigga. I'm the same nigga, same old Mac nigga. I'm the same nigga, poor nigga, mad nigga. Yeah, serve a nigga that fits. In the hood with a stick. Mindset get rich. On cuz that's it. I was working that scale. Really beating that pot. In the hood with that drop. Trying to ride me a drop. Selling working my socks. Get the dough with my Glock. Pop a nigga through the peephole. Now that funny shit can get stopped. Hey, niggas know about the kid now. Yeah, niggas know you get stick down. SK hold 3 now. That 3 harm get sweet down. Ballin', bustin' fucking all these niggas hold now. Trust me, I'm clutching. Wrecked up in a geek now. Same nigga you hatin' on be the same nigga with your bitch house. Drunk and fucking your bitch mouth. Beating it down on your big cat. I'm the same nigga, I'm the same nigga. 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 I'm the same nigga, same old street nigga. I'm the same nigga, same old trap nigga. I'm the same nigga, same old Mac nigga. I'm the same nigga, poor nigga.
I'm the same nigga, still moving grounds in the dope. Move 100,000 chopaholic, muscle gang, legs, Louis 10 shooters in a Uber. Pull up on your baby mama, pussy nigga. Same time, I'ma roll it though the time wrong. Same block, niggas grind on. Same light, niggas shine on. I'm the same nigga with the Range Rover, ride dirty while the 12 rollers. Cans ashing from the baking soda. I was cooking up the Coca-Cola. Fiends, how you dabbing for that check? Trap booming, I ain't missing yet. Same nigga from the same hood. Same gang got a Hollywood. Catching plays, I been running routes. 5 years, I'm gon' run it south. Ain't no secret, bitch, I'm in and out. Buying wings, stopping Waffle House. Told stores, taking money back. Killing hundreds like a psychopath. Same nigga with a lot of cash. Same nigga with the same rags.
I'm the same nigga, I'm the same nigga. 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 I'm the same nigga, same old street nigga. I'm the same nigga, same old trap nigga. I'm the same nigga, same old Mac nigga. I'm the same nigga, poor nigga, head nigga. Yeah.
We Japanese still. You getting cooked in front of your family like a Japanese meal. It's Yashup the Hibachi, and none of you niggas can stop, but can't help but watch me. Man, look, I've been on a sabbatical, man. You know what I'm saying? Hogwarts Legacy came out. I went and played that for a while, so I went go as soon as that came out. But I'm back. Did you miss me? Man, today we're going to talk about James Smalls. He made an appearance on SANETER TV today, SANETER Studios. And I've been in the game so long. I remember when it was SANETER TV before he lost the email or password to the account. Then he switched over primarily to SANETER Studios. But anyway, be that as it may, you had James Smalls go on there and prove everything what we've been saying. These Afrocentrics are the most racist people on the internet. Openly racist. The things he says about, white people in general and people outside of the African context in general is disgusting. And if someone said that was a European or white European blue-eyed individual with pale skin said the same exact thing, these people would be crying, talking about, so see, the oppressor, he's the devil, and all these other things, right? You can say that they're nothing but bloodthirsty people and all the things they produce are blood coats. You can say all those things, but let them get on YouTube, let them get on the internet or anything or any platform for that matter and spew 25% of the bullshit you guys spew, you guys will be crying foul. You understand? And this is why I always bring out Afrocentrism is the daughter of white supremacy. I'm going to say that again. Afrocentrism, Afrocentric thought is a byproduct, is the daughter of white supremacy. All they did was reverse engineer it, right? These guys will call themselves pan-Africans. You guys are not pan-Africans. You got videos when you call in North Africans invaders, Arabs, when those guys are indigenous and are toxins to North Africa, but you call them invaders, right? Mixed breeds or whatever. That's what you call them. This is nothing but a Nazi speech, man. I witnessed a Nazi speech today in blackface. And here's the thing. No one's calling out, beyond the racism, no one's calling out all of the pseudo garbage that he spewed today. The man constantly made pseudo claims, you understand, that are unfounded, that we cannot back with evidence. One of the claims he made was that all African Americans share the same mothers and fathers. The man said that this came out his damn mouth. And he also made another pseudo-scientific claim that the memories, y'all, of our ancestors, all of our ancestors, millions of our ancestors is contained in our genes. That is a goddamn lie. There is no scientific article or study verifying none of that. But he keeps claiming that, oh, this is science. No, it's not. That's tomfoolery. That's buffoon shit. But these people that's from these platforms claim to be, we against pseudos, we're against this, we're against that. Oh, this is made up. But this man can go up there and freestyle for 3 hours, making up bullshit after bullshit claim. And there's nobody that's supposed to be pseudo killers and against pseudo saying a goddamn thing. Why? Because this is the same thing that we're dealing with the BHIs. The BHIs is a daughter of Afrocentrism. Black Hebrew Israelites are a byproduct of Afrocentrism. Do your Googles, man. Do your research. They come from those groups. They come from that vein. Right? You have these Afrocentric extremists on YouTube. All of these are the offspring of your Marcus Garvey. That's why they prayed to UNIA. UNIA and Marcus Garvey is a bunch of racist bastards. That's what they were. Right? That create a model of racial purity, right? And eugenics from white supremacy, right? They borrowed all these. They loved Ernest Cox's work, White America. They sold his books thousands of copies, 17,000 copies. One of the best-selling books that they sold via Marcus Garvey's camp and Peoples, man. These are the purveyors of racism. They support racism. They support white supremacy, right? And they just putting it in blackface. Some more claims that he made that are unfounded. That the Bible was constructed using African spirituality. Because, they hate the word religion. Africans have tons of fucking religions. The word religion is just a word to characterize the ritual practices they do and the lifestyle that they do. You guys hate that word religion because you have become, I guess, offended by the term, because the word religion makes you think of Christianity, Islam, or whatever, Judaism, and you hate those three things. You hate those three religions, so therefore you don't even. That's why y'all say African spirituality. No, those are fucking religions. Oh, if you want to change, do African things. Okay, what about the Africans right now that live on the continent? And they're not really talking about all Africans because they look at Africa like a racist would. What they mean to say is Black Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa, because that's what they view our people only coming from or associate Black people with. Anything above the Sahel, they don't want anything to do with. So they mean to say Black Africa, but they want to claim Egypt. Egypt is a Eurasian repository. Say it with me, folks. Egypt, ancient Egypt is a Eurasian repository. There were pale-skinned people there. There were people from Afghanistan there. There were people from the Levant there. Right? The people have been there for thousands of years. It's not this homogenous set of people that you guys keep trying to portray. That's why he said in the video, all black people share the same fathers and mothers. No, we do not. And then another segment that was just pseudo as hell. Oh, all people come from us. Oh my God. The oldest people on the earth is us. No, those groups of people are not majority of African Americans. They're less than 5% of African Americans. Because they said the pygmy-toi. The pygmy-toi, majority of them, is B, haplogroup B. That's a different set of males that majority of African Americans don't share common ancestry with. Y'all need YAP, man. We your last fucking hope. We your last hope. These fucking races dominate this small niche market that we're in, this space that we're in. We're your last fucking hope to get some kind of clean water around here, clean understanding of this shit. All right, hold on. I got my brother, the savant from the Levant in the building. What's going on, Avery?
Hey, shalom. Glad to be back and get into, I guess, a video that I did not watch. So I'm kind of new to what you're talking about and what's going on. So I guess we're going to review some Afrocentric who was saying a lot of nonsense, like everybody comes from us, even though if we're talking about African Americans, most African Americans are E1B1A, about 60%. So therefore, it'd be kind of impossible for most of the planet to descend from us directly in terms of paternal lineage, because most of the planet isn't E1B1A. But anyways, I can't wait to hear what this person has to say, because I did not watch the video. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're more closely related paternally to Eurasian groups than we are Paleo-African groups.
Right.
Like your San groups, your pygmy-tois, your foraging groups. We're more closely related to the motherfuckers y'all hate so much. Y'all want to hate on. Oh, they got everything from Africans. Stop it. No, they didn't, man. No, they didn't. Next you're gonna be saying that the Han dynasty was started, but shut up. You know, everything is not fucking Africoid African, man. And most of you niggas that be talking that shit, not even African. Most of you niggas that be on this rah shit and go so hard for the Afrocentric thought process, right? Most of you niggas descend from Western Europeans, man. That's why y'all don't want to reveal your fucking DNA. That's why it's like pulling teeth to so you can reveal your Y DNA. You only show your autosomal shit because you know that you got a Y chromosome passed down from a European man. You know, the irony of ironies. We got 40% of our community walking around with European markers, speaking the vilest shit against Europeans. Oh, Europeans have committed genocide. Africans committed genocide too. Your point? So you're going to blame every fucking body that's a European descendant for that. Okay, so we blaming your ass because you're a European descendant too. So the judgment you wrought on them falls on your fucking head too, man. Most of you niggas, it's like Marcus Garvey, all that shit he was talking. Come to find out he's Western European his goddamn self, man. And this is the idiocy that you get with the so-called conscious community, the Black Hebrew Israelites, Afrocentrics, and everything in between. The man said, if you want to better your life, you do African things. No. Shut the fuck up. If you want to better your life, get a fucking job. There's a portion in this video where this guy, where SANETER said, you never worked for the white man, did you? You never work for the white man. He said, I work for the college. But other than that, I never worked for the white man. I'm like, so you've been living off of other people that got jobs. You fucking swindler. Oh, I ain't work for the white man. But most of your constituents, the people that support you, work regular jobs. That's why I gave you the goddamn money. And you've been living off them. You're practically bragging about being a bum. That's what you're bragging about. That you're a bum. And you've been a bum for fucking decades. No, African Americans need to get off their ass. And the problem is, too many of y'all are coddling people like this. There is nobody coming out and saying shit against these people. You coddle them. That's why you have generation after generation of sorry ass niggas. It ain't got nothing to do with oppression. You niggas don't want to work. You say it. You don't want to work and apply yourself towards nothing. You want to sit on your ass and fucking reap the benefits from people that do go out there and lay their fucking brick. African American, you know what they need to do? Work. Obtain skills in high demand. I was talking to a coworker about this the other day. I'm like, listen, there are jobs. You guys are just too damn lazy to do them. And I tell people all the time, take your ass back to school and get a skill. But you too fucking intellectually lazy. You don't want to study. You don't want to rack your brain. Okay, well, guess what people do? They do shitty jobs when they don't rack their damn brain. You want to go work in the oil field? You want to go dig trenches all day in a hot-ass sun? Or do you want to sit at a fucking computer? Work remote, probably in the DR some goddamn where. On a semi-vacation while you fucking work. Making 6 figures. Which one do you want? The answer is neither, because you're going to sit on your ass and try to find out how to swindle people out their fucking money, man. You got the nerve to talk about the Christian church, all the pastors taking money. You niggas do the same shit. You sit up and take money and siphon money. Look at your young Pharaoh. Look at Polite. They all the same, man. All these BHIs, I came from IUIC. What this nigga do? Nigga took the church's funds to go buy him a fucking house, and so he don't have to work. Oh, I'm doing the work of the Lord. The bishop shouldn't have to work. He doing the work of the Lord. Reaping the benefits of the people. But that's good for black people, huh? But the white man, the one who impressing y'all. You motherfuckers is insane, man. All of y'all. Like I said, Afrocentrics, BHIs, and everything in between, man. Y'all all the goddamn same. You come from the same source. You're a bunch of racist, lazy motherfuckers. That's it. And there's no one, you too goddamn shiftless. Nobody telling you, hey, nah, you need to get off. The community as a whole should come out, nah, you got to get off your ass. You can't live off that woman forever, man. You's a bum. Ain't nobody saying that shit. Y'all praising these fuckers. That's what y'all doing. Y'all praising these motherfuckers. That's all y'all do. And donate to these people that ain't got no. What are you donating to? Motherfucker just insulted you saying, you work for the white man. Now donate to me. Oh, you mean the money I got from working for the fucking white man? You fucking moron. Goofy ass niggas, man. And then Avery, check this out, man. The nigga tried to inflate our numbers, man. He says the white man is lying, talking about we're a minority. We're only 40 million. The white man's lying. If you add the Spanish niggas and the niggas that speak French, we actually 90 million.
Wait, the black people that speak French, what?
I don't know how to explain it. That's what the nigga said.
Yeah, because I'm thinking to myself, what does French speakers gotta do with, like, a lot of black people don't even speak French. Like, I don't, unless he's talking about Creoles in Louisiana, but they would be in the black category. They wouldn't be in no French category to themselves.
I don't get the reason behind it. Just trying to inflate our numbers. It's just stupid.
And also Spanish people. Most Hispanics are like R1B marker, people descend from, like, Spaniards, have Spaniard fathers and Native American mothers.
Real Ruger, exactly. Haitians.
Oh, Haitians.
But guess what Haitians are counted as? Haitian fucking Americans, man. They Haitians. They not. Oh my God, this is so fucking stupid, man. And even if you did count them, they're not that much. It's not going to bolster.
Yeah, Haitian Americans are a minority. Yeah.
Caribbean blacks in general, there's not that many people. Oh, and if you count the Spanish niggas, so I was like, what is he talking about? Spanish? You talking about Dominicans? They're not that. That's a very small number. What the fuck are you talking about? But this is the pseudo shit that goes on, and nobody's correcting it. But they claim to be against. Oh, we're against pseudo stuff, and no, you're not. You pick and choose what pseudo you want to fucking follow, man. A lot of you guys are not even, I can't even say closet racist. You're openly racist. You're openly racist. You say, oh, these people are invaders. They ain't never created shit. And they blood coats and all their religions is blood coat. The man said everything, all the religions that we have today, like Christianity, Islam, they're all white people shit. You got to give them their shit back and practice African spirituality because they don't like the word religion. Which one do we practice, motherfucker? Then he lied. The motherfucker lied and said African religions don't personify their deities. What? You mean the fucking religion that says that these two damn deities fucked and had babies? That's that's giving personage to the goddamn deity, ain't it? If you're saying they got a gender, then he said, oh, they never ascribed genders to them. What? Fucking insane, dude. The amount of idiots.
Yeah, he didn't think that one through.
Yeah. How many fucking religions, African religion, I'm using the word religion, you motherfuckers, religion. God damn it. Niggas scared of a damn term. Oh, don't use the word religion. Africa didn't have religions. Shut the fuck up, man. You guys are the antithesis of education. But this is what you get off. This is what you get offered. This is what you get offered, man. This is what's on the table for BHI and Afrocentrism. This damn group, this whole entire goddamn thing from the root all the way to the branches, it's just deplorable. Deplorable. That's the best way to categorize this, man. Ooh, Africans don't follow religions. Okay, a simple dictionary search of what the word religion means. The belief in worship of superhuman powers or powers, especially God or gods. That's a religion. Particular system of faith and worship. Then he said Africans didn't worship, they didn't pray. Oh my God, they don't. He just made a whole bunch of fucking claims that can't be backed up with empiricals. You know, it's just a bunch of fucking claims, man. So let me just show y'all this, because this is just stupid. He made so many damn claims. It's like, I don't even think it's even worth, because the amount of time you have to break all this shit down, it's just tremendous.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
So religion. So what we're going to do is zoom in. Religion, the belief and worship of superhuman powers or powers, especially the God of gods. Africans fall within that, man. There's a lot of African religions, right? Whether you go to South Africa, you go to Nigeria, you go to Congo, there's African religions. There's always been religions. Religions is a word to categorize what they're doing. So right here, religion is a range of socio-cultural systems, including designated behaviors and practices, morals, beliefs, worldviews, texts, sanctified places, prophecies, ethics, or organizations. Africans have religions, man. Yeah, outrageous claims, Real Ruger. That didn't follow. Yes, they fucking did. Oh my God, man. It's just a damn word, bro. It's a fucking word. Words are language is used to describe things, right? Religion is describing that, right? Which many Africans practice. Shit dumb. But these people are passed off as being wise or some shit. Fuck out of here, man. He also said Christianity comes, not Christianity. He says the Bible comes from Africans. See, this is the trick bag. They'll talk shit about religions and whatnot, and Christianity and all the other good stuff, right? They'll talk about it and then try to claim it right afterwards. Well, actually, that's actually African morality and African science. That's all it is. If you read your book, it's African science. No, motherfucker, you just shitted on it. Now you want to claim that as African. Shut the fuck up, man. All you did was shit on this on Christianity and shit on the Bible. Said it was a cool to come and take and steal and come with this devious plot. The devious plot to take African spirituality and then turn it into religion. Because according to y'all, they didn't have nothing called religion. They didn't follow religion. And this is supposed to be like the apex of intellectuals in this community. That's how they're viewed. Oh, these are the smartest individuals here. They saying dumb shit like this. So we're going to get into this video, man. We are covered under the copyright law. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. Because we are covered, man. Hopefully we don't have to spend too much time refuting some of this nonsensical bullshit. He said modern science comes from African science. No, it does not. And then the nigga called the coming to forth by day, or the Book of the Dead, as most people know it as. The reason why they call it the Book of the Dead, because they found it in fucking coffins. They found it in fucking sarcophagus. They found it where dead people were. So like, oh, this must be the Book of the Dead. Because the people who were religious, because ancient Egyptians were religious, so they buried the fucking book with them because they wanted instructions into the afterlife. How to navigate in the afterlife. That's how religious they were. Because they followed a religion. Dumb. And no, ancient Egyptians were not all fucking crispy, crunchy black. You stupid motherfuckers. They were a melting pot. They were a hodgepodge. And a lot of them were Eurasian. Anyway, we are protected by the fair use U.S. Code 107, right? We will be critiquing, we're using this for criticism, commentary, news reporting, scholarship, and research purposes. So we are well within our right to review this media here. Fair use. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Here's the video here.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
Here's the video here. And get this off the screen real quick. And we're going to deal with some of the things he says. I'm not going to watch the video in its entirety. It's 3 hours long. I'm just going to go through some key points. I might watch like the first hour. And then we're going to skip to the end. Because
is that G-Con? My bad.
Oh, yeah, G-Con's got a debate with some dude. I don't fucking know him.
Oh.
All right, so get ready, y'all. Get ready to pseudo. Get ready to pseudo.
I want to figure out now that is Z. Then I know that's Z. Because I want to be in a knowing system rather than a believing system.
Wait, can you pause really quick? You shoot. Damn, I'm already telling you to pause. But is he actually a professor? Like the
Man,
just,
I don't fuck. He worked at a city college one time.
okay.
So
I was
you
just
take
wondering.
you take with that as you may, man. I don't fucking know. All these niggas is doctors and PhDs, according to them.
The feet.
Go back.
All right, peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another SANETER TV House of Consciousness production. God damn, you see my voice getting stronger. It's getting better, but I'm not quite there yet. It's getting better, but I'm not quite there yet. Been drinking a lot of tea, taking some ginger, gargling with the glycerine and salt and water and doing what I'm supposed to do to try to get these vocal cords back right. You know, so anyway, you can still hear it. It's still there, but it's getting better. So family, we got Professor James Smalls in the building. We got Professor James Smalls in the building, and he will be entering into the Twilight Zone real soon. Excuse me. He will be entering in the building real soon. What I want to say is, y'all got to...
No, you meant what you meant. He gonna enter the Twilight Zone, because that's exactly what that nigga did this whole video, is enter the Twilight Zone with his bullshit. Him and Infudici, both of them niggas is pseudo as hell. Infudici saying we Stardust people, and this nigga making up all these goddamn claims about Africa. I think he said something about we've been here for millions of years. No, we have not. Humanity is not that fucking old. You goofy ass motherfucker. Hey, get out of here, man. We've been here for millions of years. We only worried about the last 10,000.
He said we've been here for millions of years.
It was something to that effect, man.
Sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
Half
Homo
of groups
sapiens
don't even go back millions of years.
Exactly. Homo sapiens sapien only is like 200,000 years old at best.
Right. There was no humans. If you're going off evolution, I think these guys are atheists. So if you're going off evolution, there was no humans. There wasn't even. I guess you could say there was like, what do you call it? Hominids, like apes and stuff. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, those are not even Homo sapiens. So there would be nothing but mammalian animals.
Right.
That'll be all, not humans.
Be wary of everybody that make videos, right? They try their hardest to make it look like SANETER is the bad guy and I'm the one that started.
Hold on. He said he about to enter the Twilight Zone. You got there right, he is.
Who's the they?
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
You goddamn right this motherfucker is finna go head first into the damn Twilight Zone. Right? Head first. I gotta keep reminding you motherfuckers that Egypt is a Near Eastern country. Right? There's a genetic continuity from Egypt and the Levant and beyond that with Eurasians. It's very small sub-Saharan African components. Most of the evidence points to ancient Egypt being Eurasian. They speak an Afro-Asiatic language, right? They follow Afro-Asiatic culture. And they have material evidence from Afghanistan, man. Lapis lazuli, right? So for you motherfuckers to try to paint this narrative that ancient Egypt was all crispy, crunchy, black, and they were all Africans, they all your fucking ancestors, you're full of malarkey. How they said the malarkey. Baloney.
I had the time that they had. I could put together videos and show you the things, the disrespectful things, because you know our people love you and we want to support you. I need your PayPal. And yeah, you got Cash App or PayPal?
Well, both. So,
okay, send them both. Hey, Max Bird, if you can find them, we appreciate.
We should pay this man for all the years of bad scholarship and indoctrination. It's like all these damn coats, man. Whether it's an online coat or it's a physical place that you go into, they always need your damn donations so they can continue to go spread the good news of their bad doctrine. You want to shit on Europeans, and half you motherfuckers descend from them. Them your pappies, and some of them your mammies.
What is it again? So they know.
Yeah, on Cash App is Dr. James Small, $Dr. James Small.
Okay, we want the link, and then
I can send it to you.
No. I'm gonna need the links. They got me. They got you. Trust me, they got it.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm no longer here. They're gonna be doing battle with your children and the Hebrew children, because it's like an ongoing thing. We, like you said, we don't want to get off the titty, man.
Yeah, we got to start practicing our own things. As long as you're sitting in this neutral spot, nursing this white man intellectually, and you'll never get where you're going. You're gonna just go from one titty to the other. Islam titty, Christianity titty, Hebrew titty, all white people stuff. So if
Islam, Christian, Hebrews, that's all white people stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Christianity, Judaism, and Islam is all white.
All white people stuff. You know, I didn't know these religions and these practices are bound to someone's skin color. I didn't know. I did not know what scripture that. Oh, if you were only white people may be practitioners and worshiper of the God Yah or Allah or whatever. You know, insert deity here. I did not know that that's how religion worked. You know, but according to these fucking Einsteins here, that's how religion works. You know, oh, if you practice this religion, then your DNA will be blocked. You won't be able to be successful. But if you go and you deal with the Akan religion and Akan faith, then your DNA will unlock, and then you'll have all type of successes and wealth will be rained upon you. This is the goofy ass wizardly shit. And I just got done playing Hogwarts Legacy. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was only supposed to be in video games. You niggas gonna bring it to real life.
It's funny, they chose probably the worst religions to claim to be white, because the funny thing is Judaism, which was first, then Christianity, which was second, then Islam, which was third. All three of those religions are technically, for one, they're Afro-Asiatic under the Semitic branch. They started with Semitic groups. They didn't start with Indo-European speakers. It's not an Indo-European faith. The people who wrote the Torah, which would have been in Paleo Hebrew, the people who would have wrote the Bible. Some people say it would have been in Aramaic and in Greek, but still Greek is an influenced Semitic language by the Phoenicians. But when it comes to Islam, that would have been written in Arabic. So these three religions, for the most part, the writing, the speakers, they would have been Semitic. And two, these faiths weren't born in Europe. Judaism was born in the Sinai Peninsula and in the Levant. Islam was born in Arabia, and Christianity was born in Jerusalem, in Israel, in the Levant. So these geographically, it's not Indo-European. And in terms of skin tone, a lot of these peoples in these geographical areas of the Levant to Arabia would have been brown skin. They would have had, likely that Bedouin type of look. So they wouldn't have been blue-eyed, blonde-haired. That's not to say that there wouldn't have been blue-eyed, blonde-haired people among or in the Levant and Arabia, because there was. But still, like majority speaking, these people would have looked Arab and Bedouin and stuff like that. They wouldn't have looked like a Germanic Nordic person. So yeah, he kind of chose the worst religions to claim to be the white man. I mean, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam was brought to Europe by Middle Easterners, not born in Europe already there. But go ahead.
He contradicts himself because then he says, well, actually, all this stuff comes from Africans anyway. Which one is it?
Oh yeah,
Which
you
one
can't have both. You can't say both.
Yeah, is it white men? Did it originate with white people predominantly, as you guys say? And if it did, it wouldn't fucking matter. Anybody can choose to practice a culture or venerate a deity or worship a god. That has nothing to do with your goddamn skin color. That's that Woodrow Wilson shit coming out your mouth. That's what that is. And you know what the KKK used to teach? Only real Christians are white Aryans. That's what you get. That's where you get that from. All you guys are the daughters and sons of white supremacy. That's all you are. You just try to reverse engineer the shit. All right, let me let this play.
If you want to stop that, find some black people stuff and start practicing it on a daily basis.
There you go.
And that's
there
how
you go.
If you want to solve illiteracy in the black community, just practice the Akan religion, according to James Small. If you want to solve, our financial woes and issues in the black community, just practice Akan religions, right? Or Igbo traditions, or Yoruba. Go practice that, because that will solve your financial issues, your housing issues, your familial structure, right? You don't solve that by practicing fucking religions, you moron. You solve that by eliminating people like you that don't want to fucking work, right? Don't want to fucking try to achieve any damn thing, put any effort into anything. You don't want to try to go out there and put in the sweat equity. A lot of these sorry ass niggas that follow these channels have the same modus operandi. They don't want to do any damn thing. That's why nothing gets done. That's why y'all hate Jews. You hate fucking Jewish people because they're successful and they got better families and better structure. That's why you fucking hate them. That's why. And we talking statistics, nigga. Statistically, they make more money on average, right? And they're a fucking minority, so don't give me that goddamn excuse. And guess who else do better than black African Americans? Caribbean blacks. They have more wealth than you. They have better familial situations than you. They work up the economic ladder better than you. Why? Because it has nothing to do with genetics. We have the same genetics as them. What makes us different? Our culture. Because we got a bunch of sorry ass niggas like you that don't do shit. That's why. It has nothing to do with what fucking religion you fucking practice. You know what? Practice getting a fucking job.
So what was the so when you look back at it, we say the oldest people on the earth, the oldest that we can go back to as far as we can is who?
Black people.
The Twa.
Some people say the Twa, but they can't prove that either, but we'll settle for that.
Okay.
Right?
Now, what was the religion of the Twa?
Africans never had any religion until we met the white man and the mixed breed man.
Go ahead.
The white man, the mixed breed man, all this shit is racial, social, typical bullshit. And then he said, the oldest people are who? The Pygmy Twa. We are not Pygmy Twa. And look inside.
It's not even the Pygmies who are the oldest. It's technically the Khoisan. But anyways.
Right. He said, we'll settle for that. We're not them. And there's nobody.
Well, you got a preference, you should. We don't know what those two men are, but as for you and I,
E1B1A.
Oh, really? Okay.
According to Ngozi, Sanel's E1B1A. He said he saw his DNA. I don't know what Professor James Small probably a fucking. Here's the thing about people that live in the North. I'm gonna give y'all a little secret. A lot of you guys in the North that are African American are European descendants. It's more likely that if your family lived in the North, right? Because they were more open to conjugal relationships between white and black people, right? That you have some parentage from Europeans. In the South, it's a little different, it's more skewed, right? And a lot of these guys are from the North. So he most likely talking shit about Europeans. You're talking about your kinfolks. Dummy. Go learn from them.
Teach.
So
Talk to us.
we had a way of life that we lived every day. Had nothing to do with any religion.
And again, yes, it does. Those are fucking religions, idiot. The word religion is just like the word car. It's this very generic term. It's a generic term. It's not specific. It's a generic term. And as we just read, it pretty much encapsulates the ritualistic cultural, the culture of certain groups. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's not a magic word. It's not a word that means something specific to just Judaism or fucking Christianity. It has nothing to do with that. It's just a generic term. Look up the word generic term.
We got involved with these other people and we wanted to imitate them. And that's what we're doing now. We want to go, but yeah, we'll go study the ancestors, but then we try to twist that shit to look just like Christianity. We got beads on, but we praying to God. The Africans didn't pray to no God like that. Libation isn't a praying to God. Libation is simply what it is.
Africans are praying to God like that. Really?
It is showing respect, one, for all that is. That's the first water. And then you show respect for your ancestors, who you are. You are your ancestors. Every dead person in your family line has an imprint in your DNA.
Is that true? Is that true? Can you prove that scientifically? That every dead person in your family line has an imprint in your DNA? The answer is emphatically no. Hell, within the last 5 generations, you only inherit 10% of everyone who contributed DNA. You only inherit 10%. That's certain people that you descend from, or probably directly descend from, you get nothing from. Thanks to YAP covering that shit. You wouldn't know that listening to them. Thank you, man. Exactly. Nigga might be R1, BRI talking all that hot shit, bro.
All right. You have the DNA of millions upon millions of people that makes up your family.
Right.
Okay. So you are all of your ancestors that has ever existed. They all live in those cells, in those molecules, in those proton neutrons, and in your body.
Right.
And all of the memory and experiences live there too.
Avery, please say something, man. My head about to explode.
Does
all the memories and experiences of your ancestors exist in your genes? Go ahead,
bro. I know exactly where he's getting this from. I've heard it before. He's getting it from Assassin's Creed.
Oh yeah, what's the machine called? What's the machine called?
Synced into the what do you call it? The Animus. The Animus, where you can get the memories of all your ancestors. You can live out your ancestors.
Hey, I bet you if we put Animus on Professor James Small, that motherfucker go back to Scotland someday.
Bro.
Go back to Scotland.
He's been playing way too much Assassin's Creed. I mean, it's a good game, but it ain't reality. It's a good game though, but it ain't real.
Oh man, crazy, bro.
What Africans try to do through daily practice is restore that memory so that you can remember who you were before this time.
Did you hear that, Avery?
All I gotta say is I recommend Assassin's Creed Origins if you want to play what he's talking about. That's one of the best Assassin's Creed games next to Assassin's Creed 3.
Right. So Assassin's Creed, what happens is they find somebody that's of a certain lineage, right? What's the two people that's going against each other?
The Templars and the Assassins.
Yeah, the Templars and the Assassins. So he would love that game because the first assassin come from Egypt.
Yeah, that's right. Assassin's Creed Origins, if y'all want to check that game out.
Yeah, so he would love that. But yeah, the purpose of the game is like they created this machine called the Animus where they can tap into your lineage and you can go back and relive the memories of your ancestors. So like Professor James, James Small, man, you might want to pick that up, man. I think you can get it on the low now because the game been out for about 6 years. You know what I'm saying? You probably get it on in the bargaining rack, the bargain rack. He
ain't crediting Ubisoft. Ubisoft said it first, not him.
Right, Ubisoft. White people. Hey, where Ubisoft in Europe? Is Ubisoft based in Europe?
It is. I think it is. So Europeans made up the concept that he's talking about right now.
Oh man.
And that you can live based on those principles that they taught themselves in that time. Africans don't see God as a person. Like some people I see that got slick, oh, God is a woman.
Oh, is that true, Avery? Africans, they never seen God as a person. Did they ever personify deities?
Last
in
I
African?
checked, last I checked, when it came to like the Egyptians, whom they seem to love the most, Ra and Horus and all of them have physical bodies, because I remember, I'm not too familiar with all of the Egyptian gods and stories, but I do know of one story where I think Horus had his penis chopped off and thrown into the Nile River. So it sounds like they do have humanoid bodies, I guess you can say.
So there's personage with African deities.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh man, this man said it wasn't.
Well, I don't think he's read up on his African studies. And
again, this is the apex.
Come on. So let's stop playing. There's no African language that gives God a gender.
Pause the goddamn shit. This is the apex of the SANETER studio. Like, this is the top of the top right here, man. You sure? You sure? Because the man said they don't have that.
Yeah, and this is coming from a I don't know his credentials, but an alleged professor. So that's not good. What university did this man teach at? I want to know.
He said a city college, so it wasn't a university.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know what college it is. I don't know this man's educational background, but what I do know is he giving us a bunch of malarkey and baloney.
Or give God a personage.
Right.
Not a single one. All of the languages I've seen, God is the totality of everything.
Mm-hmm. I want to do something different today. I want my moderators to keep Professor Small's Cash App out there. Let's donate whatever we can, 5, 10, it don't matter.
Hey,
the brother,
shoot.
He's appreciative of whatever he gets.
Would you debate Professor Smalls? Or Professor Smalls.
He said because Zion Lex wanted to debate him a couple years ago, and they said it was disrespectful for him to want to debate him. Blasey. So everybody hated Zion Lex for that, whatever. So I don't know. Then he said, I debate my equals. When niggas say that, they don't want to debate you. They're scared of you. And you're right. I wouldn't listen, you're not on our level, man. You on some fucking 1920s, 1930s fuckery. Some KKK fuckery, man. Hey, we ain't equal. We ain't equal. I don't teach that bullshit, man. I once did. I inherited that from some niggas from New York. You want to get y'all, all you niggas from New York, man, come with this bullshit. I wouldn't know most of this crazy BHI shit if it wasn't for niggas in New York. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
The New Yorkers got you, huh? They got a Southern boy.
They got me, man. Fucking got me.
The Yankees.
And let's show some support for our elder.
And then I'm not gonna be hard on the Westerners. I want them to see where they are. I think that when Constantine and the people around him at the Council of the Nicaean Council, then the Council
we're back to the Nicaean,
then the Chaldean Council. They started this thing in 325 and
let them get it all out, because I got a perfect video that's not long that breaks down the Nicaean Council. But
yeah, the Nicaean Council is not what these guys. They would say it was the creation of Jesus. Then it's the creation of the damn Bible. Then it's like all this other shit is happening, and there was no Christianity before that, and all this other shit. And then when you read about the Nicaean Council, it's not even any of those things they talk about. And this is why we always say, don't be a know-it-all, be a show-it-all. And that's why we try to source as much information as we can. We put everything out on Front Street for you guys to say, here, judge it for your fucking selves. That's what I read. Maybe I misinterpreted. Maybe I got it wrong, but that's disgusting material, right? You can't do this with these BHIs Afrocentrics because they preach so much. All they do is preach, right? And they develop these mantras by echoing the same thing over and over again. And then after you echo it so much, people say, oh, well, it's the truth because this many people said it. Then it becomes a bandwagon fallacy. That's how these things work, man. That's how this community always worked. It's never source-based. It's never based on empiricals. It's always based on who said it and what stature they had in the community and how many people picked it up.
Hey, shoot, when he's done talking about the Nicaea Council, I put a link in the private chat for you to play a 1-minute video from Inspiring Philosophy, who breaks down the myths of the council. It's
Yeah.
only a minute long.
This thing called the Bible. It took them nearly 400 years to do it. And it took them 400 years to do what? To translate Egyptian sacred science literature, the book of the coming forth by day.
Egyptian sacred science literature. Egyptian. Oh man!
Can you break that one down for me?
Egyptian sacred science, the book of coming forth by day, which is a book of spells and instructions on what to do in the afterlife, is a science book now. Like, no, you know what that is? You know what that's called, Smalls? That word you don't like? That's a religious text. Just like the Bible's a religious text. These are the Africans were practicing religion. They had a religion. They were religious. Okay. Let me rewind that, man. Let me rewind that so we can define that.
Lie of the devil.
It took them nearly 400 years to do it. And it took them 400 years to do what? To translate Egyptian sacred science literature, the book of the coming forth by day, the pyramid.
Egyptian sacred science literature. Wait a minute. Why would it take that long? Wouldn't the Ptolemies, and the Ptolemaic dynasty would have already understood these things and you know, translated old African or Egyptian deity material or religious material in text? They would have already known about it, right? It was already in Egypt. Then that's BC. That's before the Common Era. So what are you talking about, man? This is stupidity.
Text, the coffin text, and other sacred texts that was describing cosmology and ecology.
And there's another claim he makes in this video, that these books were just describing cosmology and ecology. So what these people try to do, they try to make these ancient religious texts fit this atheistic, materialistic worldview that, oh, well, they were just describing principles and concepts and how the sun comes out and shines and emanates. Yeah, but you missed the part when the sun comes out and fucks a fucking deity. Oh, that's cosmology. No, it's not.
Didn't the Egyptians basically believe in a flat earth, that the sun was pulled by an Egyptian god, I think Ra, and it went above the above the sky, then went under the sky, which is like, I guess, the underworld, and they were supposed to fight some worm, some evil entity or whatever it is.
They just got a myriad of beliefs, and it ain't got nothing to do with explaining how the universe works. It has nothing to do with naturalism. Those are concepts that didn't even exist during that damn day, man. It has nothing to do with any of those things. But he's going to make the claim in the video, oh, they stole this from the Egyptians. They stole modern science. No, modern science has its origin in Western European Christendom. Christians. That's why a lot of the names, like the Bayesian, the Bayesian method, Occam's razor. These people are fucking Christians. Galileo, they're Christians.
Christians and Muslims.
The scientific revolution is largely comprised of Christians. It has nothing to do with no damn ancient African cult. It has nothing to do with that, man. But no, ain't nobody challenging this dude. He's able to run amok, man. We say one thing, oh no, this nigga's wrong. Nah, okay. Where's that criticism for this guy? None. Why? Because it's not about fact checking, as you guys say. Or as you guys say, we're pseudo killers. We kill the pseudos. It ain't about that shit. You agree with him, man. Y'all believe that shit he talking about. That pseudo shit he talking about. We went over this a couple months ago. I got a book called The World of Ancient Egypt, a daily life encyclopedia. And we're just going over the religions, the ritual and cultic practices, the priesthood, the job of the priesthood. We went over that. Because you guys like to fucking misrepresent ancient Egypt so much that we got to take our time, buy sources, and read it for our goddamn selves. All right. And ancient Egypt was not a damn utopic society. It was not a utopic society. Majority of the population were serfs, pretty much serfs, semi-free peasants. Majority. The elite were like the priests. They were the elite. And they had what they call corvée labor, man. They pretty much owned your ass. And when they moved, you moved. The commoner moved with them. Because the commoner had to work the land. We read all this. Y'all would never teach this shit. You would never read it and educate your audience about this because it goes against this utopic idea of ancient Egypt. Right? It goes against all of that. We read about the chief priest, his responsibilities, the daily rituals, the sacrifices. Right? They offer food and drink offerings to the deity. You understand? We read all those things, man. The different deities that were in the houses. You had the state deities, then you had the local deities. We went over that. Y'all never teach about ancient Egypt and their practices and rituals because if you did, it would go against all the bullshit you said. And the years and years and years and years of you teaching garbage to the people. Ancient Egypt didn't have slaves and servants. We covered that topic. We covered that. Hey, either you remember what the guy said about the glyph? Oh, that's not slaves. That's a wrestling team.
I remember that. Ah, man. A wrestling team that, is sitting on the ground with the Egyptians standing over them with sticks in their hand.
Right. In the striking pose. That's a wrestling team. Oh, my God. Let me let this play.
Let me show you. And it took them like 400 years to come up with the document we call the Bible. They started in 325, but they didn't finish in 325. That's the Council of Nicaea. Then you had 2 councils of Trent. And these councils are lasting for years, right?
I wish you knew how to share your screen, Professor.
Huh?
You could be sharing a lot of information. I wish you knew how to share your screen.
Well, we'll do one on that. That's why I got these words. God has taught me how to use words with a voice that people get it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the Council of Nicaea. That's the first one, 325. And then you got the Council of Trent. So you have 2 or 3 of these councils of Trent. That's around the 400s. Then you got the last big group of councils called the Chaldeans, so the Council of Chaldean. And at the end of that, after about 400 years, they come up with this thing called the Bible. Okay. And in the meantime, though, there's a fight going on. The Egyptians, the black Egyptians, are saying, "Y'all full of it. That's not our thing." And so in some stories, they talk about a brother named Arius, who's at the Council of Nicaea, who have a split, right? He leaves and go back to Egypt from Rome, and they hunt him down trying to kill him. But it is out of his teaching that arises the Coptic Church, right? Now, the Coptic Church says that Jesus only have one beingness, that of being spiritual. The Christian Church says he's both spiritual and human. That's what the argument is, right? That he has a spiritual nature and he has a divine nature. The African says, no, he only has a divine nature. God only has a divine nature. He doesn't have a human nature. And so that's what that split is. The Coptic Church still exists to today. Now, some people have said, I said Jesus was real. This thing they're talking about in the Bible.
You stumbling upon shaky grounds now, Professor. Be careful. We got people out there named Black Jesus and all this crazy stuff.
Black Jesus need to do what he got to do.
Right.
He's making a good living off of doing what he's got to do. He don't believe all that he's saying himself. So, but we're not going to even go there. I love Black Jesus. But where he at? In the time of the Roman, there were many black men who was resisting the Roman takeover of Kemet. Remember, the Romans didn't just come and say, yo, we coming to visit. No, they came in with an army. We fought them. We lost. Okay, that's cool. That's the way war goes, right? And so in that fighting with the Romans' occupation, there's a lot of people resisting. It is clear that if you read Josephus, one of the few, no historian mentions of Jesus anywhere. And it has a...
Hey, shoot. Yeah, this is a perfect point to stop. Did you want to play that clip that I had on the Council of Nicaea?
Yeah, I'm going to play it here.
They done left me in here with this retarded son of a bitch. He ain't got no name tag on or nothing.
This guy, the idiocy is replete with this one. Anyway, let me show y'all this clip, then I'm going to read some real fast. I'm not going to keep you up all night.
like this guy put out, but none of them know the actual history. The council didn't even discuss the biblical canon, and no early sources mention that. They were brought together mainly to deal with the Arian heresy, discuss the date of Easter, the role of church law, and other administrative issues. There's no evidence Constantine added any paganism into Christianity, nor was he involved in the formation of the canon. As Bart Ehrman says, the historical reality is that the Emperor Constantine had nothing to do with the formation of the canon of Scripture. Again, the main issue for the council was the Arian heresy, which wanted to turn Jesus into a created being. This would have actually been more in line with paganism, since most of the deities of the pagan world were created. But of the over 200 bishops that attended, all but a handful voted against Arius and confirmed that Jesus and the Father were of the same substance. The claim there was massive disagreement among the attendees is also a myth. So the council did not discuss the canon, nor was paganism added to Christianity. This is just pseudo-historical garbage. There are so many myths about the Council of Nicaea that fundamentalists...
Yeah, so the Council of Nicaea has nothing to do with what James said. Nothing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, and this is a lie that keeps, like I said, they keep regurgitating the same shit over and over and over again. And it's like, if you go study the Council of Nicaea, because I did it a while ago, a couple years ago, because I kept hearing it, and these people would make claims. Like, even Israelites would make claims about it. I was like, yo, I went and read up on it. None of that shit you said was in it. You guys have mythicized this whole thing and made it about something it's not about. It has nothing to do with the making of the Bible, because he said the Holy Bible comes from here, and it took him 400 years. Oh my God, bro. Anyway, let me read this, because the moron also said that Africans don't deal with religions or whatever. Even though, again, the word religion is a generic term, is not specific to anybody. Yep, the zeitgeist, Ruth, the zeitgeist. That's where they're getting this shit from. Their sources like History Channel and movies on some Ronald Dalton shit, bro. Let me drop that down for a minute, and I want to read this real quick to you guys. So bear with me here. And I just want to show y'all this, because ancient Egypt didn't have religion. They didn't deal with religion. You're the white man trying to trick you. White man trying to trick you, man. The devil trying to trick you. The whole time, this dude probably descended from a white man. The World of Ancient Egypt, a daily encyclopedia, page 417. What does that say right there? Religion and beliefs. What people are we dealing with? The ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians believed in a myriad of myths and gods created to explain the world around them. Remember, he said this cosmology, ecology, the concepts. There's nothing more. Central to Egyptian belief was the myth of Osiris, the god of the dead. Osiris of Abydos was believed to be the first king. Oh, that sounds like personage. He said Africans didn't deal with personage. You know, they didn't look at God as a person. It says the first king, and his supposed burial place became an important pilgrimage destination. Oh, they had, so not only not only that they gave him, they personified him and gave him, you know, human characteristics. They thought the man was buried somewhere, and they actually visited his location. All right. It says he was murdered by his jealous brother Seth, who chopped his body into pieces and scattered them over the earth. Oh no, man, that's a metaphor. It ain't no fucking metaphor. Not if people having a pilgrimage to his fucking burial place. That's not a metaphor. We were at that. The bits were gathered up by Osiris' wife, Isis, who magically restored his body so that they could conceive a son. And ancient Egyptians believed that they could cast magical spells and stuff of that nation. And also, they said that deities themselves were afraid of people that were spellcasters because they could harm deities. That's in the Egyptian literature. Again, you're not going to learn this from these guys because they're not going to be truthful about this shit. It says here, the bits were gathered up by Osiris' wife, Isis, who magically restored his body so that they could conceive a son. Horus, who would avenge his father's death in an epic battle with his uncle. During the battle, Horus had one of his eyes poked out, then restored, and it thus became a magical healing symbol. What does that have to do with fucking modern science? According to the myth, Horus's eye became animated and started flying around. It was transformed into a living entity on its own and was not just an eye restored. The Egyptians believed that when you died, you became a manifestation of Osiris, a god in your own right. They saw the life in the next world as much like the life in this one. This is why they buried these books with them. That's why, because it was supposed to give them instructions into the Duat. They endeavored to ensure that their bodies would be preserved and that they would be supplied with everything they could possibly need, including food, drink, clothing, cosmetics, jewelry, furniture, toys, and games. They thought they could take that shit with them into the afterlife. This is why you see servants early on getting buried with their kings, because they thought they could bring the kings into the servants with them into the afterlife to do servile labor for them. This is very religious. This is religious shit we read. This ain't got nothing to do with Pascal's law. You lying motherfucker. What does this have to do with Pascal's law? Not a goddamn thing. What about Mendel's law? It just ain't got nothing to do with modern science, bro. Stop fucking lying. You niggas just be lying, man. This ain't got shit to do with physics. Astrophysics, none of that shit, man. You's a lying motherfucker. That's what you are. This ain't got shit to do with Boyle's law. I could go down the damn list. This is why the tombs, they were buried and were sealed, they had above ground memorial chapels that people were encouraged to visit. Even after death, the Egyptians hoped to participate and be remembered in the world of the living. They believed that to see a person's face and to utter his or her name made that person live again. The Egyptians believed that after you died, your spirit went through a perilous journey through the underworld and into the hall of judgment, where Osiris sat on his throne. The heart of the seas will be weighed against the feather of truth, and if it was found to be heavy with sin and threw off the scales, then the monster Amit, part crocodile, part lion, and part hippopotamus, devoured the spirit. The deceased was given a heart scarab that protected his owner against any damning revelations. Once the test was passed, the deceased was welcomed into the next world, which was much like the one he or she had left behind. The gods were also manifest on earth in their temples, which were home to the divine image and conceived as a mirror of the cosmos. The rites and rituals the gods presided over helped organize the people's calendar, and the gods acted as agents of redistribution that kept the economy going. So these ancient Egyptians believed that these deities played a significant role. No. They were just doing concepts and stars, and they were just talking about the sun and the actual sun. They wasn't, and lights and gas. He gonna say gases. They were describing gas. No. They thought these were real fucking beings that had something to do with their day-to-day lives in the afterlife. Get out the fucking gas, man. They thought it had something to do with the economy. This is not modern science. It ain't got shit to do with Pascal's law, Boyle's law. They wouldn't put shit in the petri dish and studying the shit. They didn't know nothing about the chemical composition of shit. You was a goofy motherfucker. Egyptian religious beliefs profoundly affected the cultures around them and even ultimately our own. All right, back to the video. Oh, hold on. Let me share this book with y'all real quick. Let me go back. I know y'all done clicked on the video 1,000 times. I'm upset. You're gonna start singing Drake on me, man. All right, let me go back. So this is the book here. Go to the cover. Here's the book cover here, The World of Ancient Egypt by Peter Lacovara. I went ahead and purchased this book because I kept hearing this fucking, these damn tales about ancient Egypt and these guys not being honest about it. So, you know what? Let me take out some time and do some reading. A book a day, keep the crook away. All right. He said Osiris was putting it down so good that Isis resurrected him. Of all the Egyptian deities, he must be the Mac of the year every year. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Osiris is putting it down, man.
Ooh, baby, I gotta get you home with me tonight. Ooh, baby, gotta get you home with me tonight.
Some good historians back then. One of them was a guy named Flavius Josephus. He doesn't mention Jesus. He covers that whole time period. The other is Pliny the Younger. He doesn't mention a Jesus. He covers that time period. Then there's Pliny the Elder. He doesn't mention a Jesus. There's no historian during that period of the Roman occupation of Northeast Africa that anybody named Jesus is mentioned. There are some men, though, who are resisting and who are rebels, and the Romans captured most of them and killed them. Okay? The thing we see the cross today, they didn't use it. They stretched people on trees. Yeah, they nailed that arm on there, but it was on a tree. It was not something they stuck in the ground like we see in the movies and the three cross flickering in the lights. All that's mythology, right? So, but what I've said that people are misunderstanding, if the story was true, so then let's read the Bible. What does the Bible say? Let's suppose the story is true. So I'm reading the book. There's a brother, Jesus goes into town, right? Turns over shit, tears up the temples, right? Throw the money changers out. Who are the money changers? The bankers, right? The Wall Street brokers, the capitalists. Don't you know they're coming back at you?
That's some dumb shit. Now the fucking money changers is fucking bankers and Wall Street, whatever the fuck he just said, and capitalists. No, they're not. These are people that were getting the money in the goddamn, because if you know the culture, if you know the narrative, if you came to go give a sacrifice and you didn't have let's say you live far and you couldn't bring the damn sheep or the sacrificial animal or whatever, the dove or whatever, you could pay for that sacrifice there. I think it's in Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter. So that's why you have money changers there. It had nothing to do with no damn bankers. The Wolf of Wall Street, you dumb motherfucker. It's so stupid, man. That is anti-Semitism. That is I'm not an anti-Semite. Yes, you are. So there's some shit like that. Oh, those are bankers. Get your goof ass on somewhere. Tell me you don't understand the culture without saying you don't understand the culture.
What does the Bible say Jesus is arrested for? He's arrested for sedition. What does sedition means? The attempt to overthrow the government. He ain't arrested because he's the son of God or nothing like that. He's arrested for attempting to overthrow the non-Roman government. All right? And so if we go by their book now, just going by the book, right? Jesus.
It's so funny that he's saying go by their book, but then he don't even read it. He's freestyling this shit, bro. He's just making this shit up. Watch what he says.
This gets arrested. Well, he doesn't get arrested first. There's a big ruckus. Some people get arrested, but Jesus escapes, right? Goes to the Garden of Gethsemane with his boys. It's clear that they went to fight because when the soldiers come, his main man, Peter, pulls his sword out and chops the Romans' ears off. That doesn't sound like peace and love to me. That's what the Bible says now. So what's my man doing with a sword unless they're out to fight, right? This is taking their document. And then something happens. Jesus' main man, a guy named Judas Issachar, the Christian church tried to make it look like that was always an antagonist. No, it was Jesus's revolutionary movement, meaning it was Judah revolutionary movement that Jesus was trying to join. Judah was the militant.
Did you hear that? Where the fuck is that in the text? Where the fuck is it in the text where it says Judas Iscariot had a revolutionary movement and Jesus was trying to join it? And look at something like, oh, he on point. I never heard this before, but he on point, nigga. Thank you.
Yeah, that doesn't make any. My bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense because from what I understand, some people, at least, and Ru can correct me on this, but some historians or atheists would at least go as far as to say that Jesus was a Pharisee and he would have got his teachings from what's that guy's name from back in that time period? He would have got like similar teachings from a Pharisee in that time. I forgot his name. Rue, if you can put his name in the chat, put his name down there. But
no, Jesus was trying to get cool with the gang, cool in the gang. They were trying to get cool with the gang. They're trying to get down with Judas Iscariot's rebel group. And that's really what happened. They got caught rebelling against the Roman Empire. And, Jesus took the fall. You about to hear it. Watch this dumb shit, man.
He was the revolution.
But he keeps saying, according to their narrative. No, that's not according to the book, dude.
But Jesus was his spoon, his main man. Jesus got a problem. Some people got captured that day. But Jesus didn't get captured because he escaped to this garden with his boys, with the swords, right? Who got captured? A cat named Barabbas, right? Now they tell us in the church Barabbas was a thief and a murderer. But they don't translate. Tell the Hebrew brothers translate it for you. Bar, son of.
I'm sorry, let me let him go.
Barabbas, Lord. Barabbas is Jesus' son. Jesus and Mary Magdalene's son. Barabbas is the son
Wait
of
a minute, what? Barabbas is Jesus' son? That's blasphemy right there, actually. That's blasphemy. But
look at never heard of it. Like, oh my God, he just unlocked the fifth dimension.
Yeah, SANETER is like bug-eyed, and it's like the man ain't even providing evidence. What the heck?
Oh shit, man.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Yo, in SANETER, you called it. He said he about to enter the Twilight Zone. He sure did. There's a whole video. He been in the Twilight Zone and hasn't left yet.
Highlight Ruth's, or can I do? I think I can do it. But so what Ruth says right here, this is what I was saying earlier. Most scholars, atheists or not, atheists or not, claim Jesus was a historical figure and was a Pharisee from the school of Hillel, I think that is. Mr. James gets his scholarship from memes, so that's right. I was right about that. So yeah, he would likely have been a Pharisee from the school of Hillel, not some whatever he's trying to say. I don't know what he's trying to say, but yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to say that according to your Bible, you know what I'm saying? Because you niggas is on the white man's titty. That's what he said earlier. That the Bible is showing a story of a sedition, a rebellion, a resurrection. Not resurrection. What's the word I'm looking for with an R?
What the zealots, the Jewish zealots?
Yeah. The sedition and rebelling, and Jesus's posse gets caught, and all this other nonsense. That's not even in the scripture, bro.
No, because Jesus is walking around saying, "Forgive your enemies." You know, if the Roman tells you to walk a mile, walk 2 more miles with him. Give Caesar what is Caesar's. You know,
that's like, the Beatitudes. Yeah.
It's like literally he was the opposite of a rebel. Like most most civil rights leaders and peacemakers, whether it's like Gandhi or Martin Luther King, they honestly all get their teachings from Jesus. But then you also had the militant groups who are against people like Martin Luther King and Gandhi and stuff, who are obviously, didn't value Jesus' teachings. So it's like they kind of they're missing the whole point of Jesus' teachings. Let me just put it that way.
No, he was a rebel, man.
A rebel that told you to forgive your enemies. Okay.
Yeah,
so it's not according to their literature.
Nigga been watching Star Wars, man. The rebels.
Now, right. The son of the Lord gets captured. And I know what Mary said, the same thing my wife said to me when my son Ignatin went to jail way back in the day. You better go get my damn boy out of there. And she meant it. She told me, go find a lawyer, whatever you better get my son out of jail. And I'm sure Mary told Jesus the same thing, if according to their story, right? So Jesus turns himself.
According to their story. No, that's not in the fucking Bible, dude. That's not in the text.
Not even the Jews believe that. Like Jews
man.
that don't believe in Jesus, not even they believe what
Now,
he's saying.
Barabbas did get arrested for sedition. And he had killed a Roman during the sedition. Right? So
right.
Barabbas actually does get locked up in the text, according to what he's, but Jesus, no, that's just fucking dumb. That's you making that shit up, or you got it from some other fucking guy who made that shit up.
So basically, Jesus is what, a black man, and his son did some bad stuff, so now he's got to get his son out of jail.
I don't know what he said, man, but he got to get his son out of jail. I don't know if I think remember he said it's all white people, I guess. I don't fucking know. This dude confuses me.
In, right? And what happens? The dude named Barabbas is released. Don't that sound like a prisoner swap to you?
Right. Wow.
This is
crazy. I never heard this one before.
Play with me. Let's play with your literature.
Yeah, I never heard it either.
I never heard this one before. This is crazy. Oh, his name means son of the Lord. So that's Jesus' son. Shut up. Stop it. Your stupidity has hurt my ears. Stop it.
Peter's supposed to be the main man. Everybody's strung out on Peter's thing. Right? Folks is strung out on the Peter. But he's the one denying his boy. 3 times before the cock crows, like he's told. He's like, I don't know that dude. He denied his main man. And he's supposed to be the one I'm supposed to follow. That's deep. Anyway, the dude who builds the church, and then I'll come back to Jesus now. The dude who builds the church is the dude named Paul. He's the dude who's killing off all of his cats following him, want to kill him. After he's gone, this dude Paul is killing off all of his followers, but he's the one that builds the Christian church that we know coming out of Europe today. So I'm supposed to follow the man who was murdering those of Jesus, because you said he had an epiphany, a cross in the sky, and he changed his ways. Okay, that's your religion. You said that, so be it. But let's go back to Jesus. So let's suppose he's real, according to their story in the book.
According to their story, we're not going to read it. So we're going to go to the scripture here. Look, Luke 23, verse 19. Barabbas was actually locked up, according to this verse here. Barabbas had been thrown into prison for an insurrection in the city and for murder. That's what happened. That's what the scripture says. That's according to the narrative. He keeps saying, according to the narrative. And then Mark 15:7 right here says, and a man named Barabbas was in prison with the rebels who had committed murder during the insurrection. And a lot of scholars will say Mark is the actual telling of this narrative, and the other ones came later, Matthew and Luke and whatever. So anyway, Barabbas was actually locked up for that. Nowhere in the text does it say Jesus was locked up for sedition or insurrection. That's the word I was looking for earlier, Avery. Insurrection. All right. So now my browser's frozen. Of course.
You using the old computer or the new one?
Well, I used my old one, but I found out what was wrong with it. I needed space, so I started clearing up my space.
Yeah.
All right. So can you see the YouTube clip on there?
Nope. Don't. I still see Bible Hub.
Bible Hub. Oh my God. Hold on.
But anyways, while we wait on that.
You said what now?
No, I was gonna say while we wait on that. So when it comes to his understanding, how old is Barabbas supposed to be, and how old Jesus is supposed to be? Because we know Jesus died at age around, I think, 33. So when did he meet Mary Magdalene for him to get her pregnant and then have Barabbas? Because didn't Jesus meet Mary Magdalene in his 30s, but he died in his early 30s?
That's a great point. That's a great point, bro.
Yeah, so it's like this doesn't like he's the Barabbas.
So Barabbas was like 3.
Oh,
Barabbas was like 3.
3 or or 1 or something like.
Oh, wait, 1. You're right. You're right. He would be
Yes,
like
sir.
1.
So how's he getting locked up in prison? Romans come in and lock up this baby who's done nothing.
But he keeps saying, he keeps emphasizing, according to y'all story, and not even going off the damn story, bro. But you say the white man's a manipulator, a liar, and a devil. All right.
Yeah, his whole timeline is just off. And I'm going to repeat it one more time for the people in the back. Jesus supposedly dies at around 33 years old. And he meets Mary in his early 30s. But Barabbas is supposed to be in prison, which means if Jesus had a baby with Mary Magdalene, that baby is not going to, it's going to be a baby. He's going to have a baby. How is a baby locked up in prison?
That's so funny, man.
Makes no sense, bro.
A professor, though.
He's taken on a Friday. Now, Friday at sundown is the beginning of the Hebrew Sabbath, right? You can't do no work once sundown hits. So that time of year that they're talking about, sundown should hit around 4:30, 5 o'clock, right? So that means you got to have Jesus dead and off the cross and buried before 5 o'clock. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, Sanetta. Sanetta, you need to turn your microphone on. Let me know if you can hear me. Are y'all hearing me?
That nigga not even listening no more, man.
Talk to me. Can you hear me, brother?
Nigga on the phone with some fling, man. Let me just fast forward this shit.
That I'm always getting distracted.
You can't. You asked me to do this.
The people, no, I want the people to hear because I can always go back and listen.
So the people was hearing me. That's
but
what I need to know.
I want to do something real quick because this is important. This is important, and then I'm gonna let you go right back in. This is something totally different. I want to do this because my people is telling me to do this, right? And I think I need to do this because I came out and I said some things against the gay community, and so I want to apologize. The gay community, what they call the homosexual community. I'm gonna say if the homosexual and gay community and lesbian community feel that I have disrespected them or anything like that, I want to say I apologize to that if I offended you on anything that I said. So I'll take that back. Anything that I have said that may have offended you, I want to apologize to the gay, lesbian, homosexual community. Okay, so I want to say that.
But it was somebody called and was like, "Listen, you need to make this right because some of your financial backers are gay."
I wonder what he said. What did he say?
He was on. I don't know what he's. I don't watch his videos every day, man. I just so happened to see this live today. I was like, let me check it out, and it was everything I expected it to be. You know, very pseudo, very racist, old Afrocentric arguments and shit. This man that twisted the Bible so goddamn much. This man could be a contortionist. According to your history, my Bible don't say that shit.
For real.
You must be reading the UNIA version of the Bible. You know how you got the Circle 7 Quran? I guess that's the Circle 7 Bible.
I want to say first to the people. All right. So with that, Professor Smalls, go ahead, brother.
Okay. I hope other people feel like they need to apologize to the African community when they do things to offend us, 3 billion plus people, and our way of life. You want us to respect your values, your belief, and your way of life.
What do you mean? Like you say, white way of life in singular. Like Africa has a lot of people in it with different cultures, different customs, different languages. And then when you guys say Africa, you say it in the racist way. What do I mean by that? You mean Black Africa. And when you say Black Africa, you're usually talking about sub-Saharan Africa, right? Mutasia points this out, right? That's why he doesn't like the word sub-Saharan Africa. And he wants to use like intra-Saharan and stuff of that nature. Be that as it may. That's what you're talking about. You're not talking about the Amazigh. You're not even talking about the Tuaregs. You're not even talking about them. Why? Because you're fucking racist. And North Africans and East Africans, they don't count, according to y'all, because they're invaders, remember? But they're Africans too. That's why I always point out, be wary of people calling themselves Pan-African. They don't mean Pan-African, man. They mean Pan-Sub-Saharan African. That's what they mean. Because as soon as you go above the Sahel, they say, all hell. You can't rock with them. That's how they
Yeah, a true Pan-African will be cool with all Africans, north, east, south, west, and interior.
Right. Period. Point blank.
Just like it's no different than like people who are pro Indo-European. Like when you see these white supremacists or just even non-white supremacists, when they're pro Europe, they mean all of Europe, Italy, from Italy in the south to Scandinavia in the north to the UK in the west and to Ukraine in the east. But us as African Americans, we're not really, or Afrocentric, should I say, not really hip to that.
Yeah, what about Moroccans? They Africans. Oh no, they pale skinned invaders from the island of Mu. That's how these niggas talk, bro.
Then respect our values and our beliefs and our way of life. And I think we will all get along very happy on the planet Earth. You know, let me come back to this Christian thing, right? Because this is where a lot of this other stuff gets started. You know, the Roman and Greek empires and their misunderstanding of human relationships. But here they are invading North Africa, murdering African peoples, attempting to overthrow all of the governance that we have put in place with their mighty armies of killers coming out of Europe. That's what Roman is. It's a death culture. It's a war culture. Greek is a death culture. It's a war culture. But to get to Christianity, you have to see Northeast Africa having been invaded first by the Hittites, the Hyksos.
Ivory, what's the oldest known war?
The oldest recorded war. All right, so there's been a couple of battles we know about in the Neolithic era, but the oldest technically recorded war was the Battle of Kadesh against the Egyptians and the Hittites. If we're going off the record.
So the Egyptians are they a war culture? They a battle culture?
After when the New Kingdom was implemented, they became more militaristic. They took a lot of slaves from Nubia, from Canaan, and from the West.
Slaves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They started slave raiding because of they got freaked out by the Hyksos.
Would you categorize the Egyptians as imperial?
Yeah, the New Kingdom is pretty much known as an imperial time in Egypt's history, the beginning of their imperialism.
Oh, damn! So, what about conquering other nations and making them their own, or making them vassal state? Oh, they did that too. Oh, well, damn! I didn't know. I thought African people were just peaceful people. They didn't know nothing wrong, very utopic, and it was a lot of rainbows and marshmallows going on in ancient Egypt. Okay, what about the earliest battle? Where did that happen? The earliest battle where people got killed.
That's not recorded, or that's recorded?
No, it's not recorded. It's not recorded.
Well, we found a couple of, or should I say scientists and archaeologists, found a couple of Neolithic sites throughout the world that shows very old battles. I could think of two. There's one scene, actually, no, that's not even Neolithic, that's Bronze Age. But there's one that's Neolithic that we see in the Nile Valley, which was possibly between some type of northern Levantine group or Mediterranean group and like a, I guess you say like a sub-Saharan or Nilotic type of population.
Oh,
well, now in Sudan, I think.
Damn, so this was going on. This was what you said, a Holocene?
It was Neolithic.
Neolithic in the New Stone Age. Damn, they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, they called it if y'all want to check it out, I think it's called like the First Race War or something like that.
Yeah, that's how they entitled it. Yep. First Race War in ancient Sudan. 13,000 years ago. You dangerous Africans. You bloodthirsty Africans.
The interesting thing is, and this is going by possibility, but the interesting thing is those northern populations that had the more Mediterranean phenotype may have been E markers, and the what do you call it? The Nilotic population.
They were probably Dinka. Yeah, they're probably like Dinka related people. Yeah. Most likely like Dinkas. Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because we know that haplogroup J was not in Sudan 13,000 years ago. We can mark them out. We know that haplogroup T wasn't in Sudan 13,000 years ago, because we find T markers way in the Chalcolithic of the Levant. So obviously they're not going to be in Sudan 13,000 years ago. They're likely not our markers, because they didn't enter into Africa until sometime later. So the only population that these Mediterranean people are that's coming from the north is got to be E markers. No other Eurasian haplogroups would have been present.
It makes the most sense at that time, at that epoch. It makes the most sense that those E descendants, most likely battling like Dinka related peoples, you know, during that time. Yep. It's just bloodthirsty savages.
You can see the skull right there. That's more than likely a sub-Saharan African type, like a Nilotic type, because you can see the protrusion of the jawline.
Yeah, it said the identity of their killers is, however, less easy to determine, but it's conceivable that they were people from a totally different racial and ethnic group, part of a North African, Levantine, European people who lived around much of the Mediterranean basin 13,000 years ago. So this is about 1100 BCE, and we know the Iberian Maurutians and Natufians were around during this time. They most likely was, you know, the group that were the killers, you know, so to speak. Those are our relatives, you know. This is the oldest history of this, man. The oldest history of a battle and the oldest history of a war. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up because he was like, oh, they all have a history of this, and we were just a peaceful, loving people, and, you know, rainbows, kisses, and marshmallows. That's all we had, man. No. And you guys can read this on your own. I'm not going to go over this in its entirety. We dealt with it in the past. But this is why we try to encourage people to read more, man. Just fucking read. Don't believe these niggas. Just read, man. Let's go read it your damn selves. Anyway, let me go back.
Persians, the Assyrians, the Greeks, and now the Romans. And they've slaughtered our people, mulattoized our people, have our people accepted their perverted way of lives on many levels. And now they want to come up with a way to control this vast empire in terms of socializing the people to behave in a certain way. And socialization means the values, interests, and principles are used to control you on a daily basis. And so they come up with this thing called religion. This Christian religion, which starts in 325 with the attempt to write a document. But to write this document, they're looking at all the African documents they've captured.
So two things. Does Christianity start in 325, Ivry?
No, it literally starts early AD. Well, actually not early AD, but it literally starts really, honestly, with Jesus first left his home and began teaching. If you want to be honest about it.
You would say first century. First century.
Yeah, first century. When he left home and began talking, you know.
Or you know what's funny? The funny thing is in order for there to be a Council of Nicaea, Christianity will have to already exist. Because you got bishops coming from different churches to the council. So that means Christianity will have to exist. The organization and religion will already have to exist in order for the damn Council of Nicaea to even happen in 325 AD. Dumb motherfucker. Second thing is, was Christianity or was the Bible comprised of 325 CE comprised of African books and traditions?
You can make the argument for Afro-Asiatic.
No. What about Akan traditions and stuff like that?
No, you can't say that. No.
Xhosa. Dinka.
Nope. All those groups, in my belief, I guess you could say proto-Akan and proto-Yoruba and proto this and that, they would have already been in West Africa to me.
What about the Pygmy-Twa?
They've been in Africa for the past 100,000 years if you go with an older.
What about the cult of Amun?
That's what is it? Isn't that pre-dynastic Egypt or something? No, or is it Old Kingdom?
Dynastic Egypt. Dynastic Egypt. Middle Kingdom.
Dynasty.
No, New Kingdom. New Kingdom.
New Kingdom. Dang, that's pretty. That's not even Old Kingdom. That. But no, Christianity has nothing to do with New Kingdom.
No, but the Bible says "Amen" in it, so that must be talking about the.
Last I checked.
Oh man.
The book of the coming forth by day that they call the book of the dead, the pyramid text, the coffin text, and other books. And it takes them 400 years to extract the metaphor, allegory, and the stories of Africa and their fundamental ethics, moral, and principles, and come up with a document that fits their culture. That document is called the Holy Bible. And so I don't think they did it to hurt nobody at the time they did it.
So the Holy Bible came into formation 325 CE. Got it.
They did it to try to save themselves, to give themselves a way of life that was based on some ethics and some morals, other than the killing, the robbing, and the maiming and the warfare that Rome had emerged out of. And so then we get to the character. The main character in the document is someone called Jesus, who's a person that's supposed to have lived as a human, but is really God coming down to earth to live as a human, and then die, then resurrect from the dead, then go back to heaven again. So that's that story. Now you can find a similar story in ancient Kemet with Osiris having been killed by his brother and then gets resurrected by his wife and his sister-in-law, right? And then give birth to a child who becomes a holy child, who becomes the savior of the world after he's dead. So they take that story and synthesize it. The Asar, the Aset, the Heru, and the Hethys, and they synthesize that into the Christ story. Once you know both stories, not hard to see. Once you read the ancient scripture from Egypt, you can see how it appears in the Bible in many forms. And so we take one. The African book was not about a mythical god. And the oldest book that we know, the pyramid text.
The African book is not about a mythical god. Oh, what about Osiris? What about Heru? What about Seth? Those are fucking mythical gods, bro. What the fuck wrong with this dude, man? Listen to this guy try to explain this shit away.
It opens up like this, the Genesis story.
Again, we read earlier, according to Egyptian culture, they believe that the first king was Osiris, and they have his burial location, and these people had to make a pilgrimage, to that burial site, wherever it was, right? And pay respects to the first king, Osiris. But they didn't believe in mythicized gods. Get the fuck out of here.
God Amen says, I create myself out of myself, right? I create myself out of myself. I cause existence to exist so that existing might exist. And when I realized that I existed, Ma'at, symbolized by a woman with outstretched wings, which later Christians would call an angel. But the Amen says, when I realized that I existed, meaning the God of the unknowable, that Ma'at was at my side, truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, and reciprocity, plus. Then he goes further. He says, and I coughed up Shu, the air, and I spat out Shu, what we call the air, and I coughed up Tefnut, which is the gases. But Shu is a male phenomenon. Tefnut is his wife, the opposite phenomenon. Everything in the African pantheon is heterosexual. Everything. It is an opposite.
Did you hear what he just said? That Tefnut is the gases. Tefnut is the gases.
What, like a fart or something?
I don't fucking know, man. Tefnut is the... Oh, let me type this shit in. Tefnut. That is Tefnut. That's the mate of Shu. I'm trying to find where you're getting this damn Tefnut is a goddamn gas. Gases. Oh, this is the universe because the lightest element is gas. The gas, In the beginning, there was gases. That's what they were talking about. Shut the fuck up. That's the person you put the pillow over their face real fast. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You fucking smother their ass. Let's type it in. Tefnut. Let's see if it's the god of gas. Oh God! It says moisture and fucking rainfall. In ancient Egyptian religion mythology, Tefnut, also spelled Tefenet, was the goddess of moisture and rainfall. This motherfucker said gas.
That's weather. That's just weather, The
nigga said gases, bro.
Yeah, I don't know how rain water is a gas.
Let me go back, man. I told you niggas be freestyle Friday up in here, man. Like the old
That's not
106.
freestyling. That's just simply lying.
He said, did he mean vapor? Mr. Black Tassin ain't pulling no punches, and his information is terrible. Oh, man. Good luck with that, Mr. Black Tassin. He will not accept the debate. He'll say you're not on his level.
That Ma'at was at my side. Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, and reciprocity. Plus. Then he goes further. He says, and I coughed up shoot, the air. And I spat out shoot, I'm sorry, what we call the air, and I coughed up tefnut, which is the gases. But shoe is a male phenomenon.
Tefnut is not gases. I'm not finding it, bro. Do your Googles.
Nah, brother. To get that information, you need to buy and read my book.
Buy and read my book. Matter of fact, donate to it. Tefnut is the goddess, according to Britannica. Same shit. The goddess of
Britannica's
moisture.
by the white man, brother.
Yeah, can't trust Britannica. Gotta trust this nigga. Yeah, I don't see anything about gases, bro. What the fuck is you talking about, you goofy ass nigga? Oh, fuck, I didn't skip all.
So your name was brought up because I would like you to be one of the speakers. I mean, I'm trying to do a big event, okay?
It was a male phenomenon. Tefnutus is white, the opposite phenomenon. Everything in the African pantheon is heterosexual. Everything. It is an opposite. And it is the opposite. When the opposites in nature come together, they recreate. And so he spit out shoot, air, cough up tefnut, gases. They come together and create Geb, which is the things we call the planets, the stars, the moon. And I'm sorry, Geb is the earth. He's the male factor. And then Nut is all of the things we see in the cosmology. And then the
wait, what? Oh, let me go back, man. This nigga, Freestyle Friday, Freestyle King.
It was a male phenomenon. Tefnutus is white, the opposite phenomenon. Everything in the African pantheon is heterosexual. Everything. It is an opposite. And it is the opposite. When the opposites in nature come together, they recreate. And so he spit out shoot, air, cough up tefnut, gases. They come together and create Geb, which is the things we call the planets, the stars, the moon. And I'm sorry, Geb is the earth. He's the male factor. And then
so air and gases come together. You know what's funny about this whole thing? Because he claims that this is where modern science got their oh man, modern science got their inspiration from, and they just stole it from Africans or whatever, according to this narrative here, the Egyptian cosmology. Listen to me, Professor James Small. In the beginning, there was no fucking air. You're going to say later on in this video, right? I'm going to save you guys some time, that modern science was stolen from Africans, from these African religious beliefs of Egypt or whatever. Listen to me. There is no goddamn air in the beginning.
Wait a minute, you're meaning to tell me that in the beginning of the universe, there wasn't air in the vacuum of space?
No, it wouldn't be a fucking vacuum now, would it? In the beginning was space, time, and matter, right? The first matter is the lightest elements, right? Which would be gases. That's why I'm thinking like he's trying to say gas. Even though Tefnut is not the god of gases. Tefnut is the god of rain and moisture. So he's got that all fucked up. But now I gotta actually teach you what the scientific consensus is on the beginning of the universe. You start off with the lighter elements, and then stars form, and then the stars within their fucking cores create heavy metals, and then everything else comes from the death of stars, according to the scientific cosmology. That has nothing to do with Tefnut, the god of rain and moisture. It's incompatible. Anyway.
Brother, that's white man science.
But he's saying white man science come from these African traditions.
Oh, yeah, he
makes that claim.
Nut is all of the things we see in the cosmology. And then the energies of the cosmology and the matter and minerals of Geb the earth, comes together and they create man and woman. So the African story is not spookism at all. It's science. It's discussing.
Told you. It's science. It's not spookism. You know, even though the story talks about deities getting their damn freak on, and, you know, fucking a dead man, technically necro.
Dang.
You know what I'm saying? But you call it shit that technically that's, you know, necrophilia. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? She put that man back together, man.
You home with me tonight. Ooh, baby, gotta get you home with me tonight.
Cosmology and ecology, and the relationship between cosmology, ecology, and the coming into being of the human being. That's what our book is talking about. It's basic physics. All right, it's talking about everything science in one package. Then he goes on.
Let's talk about science. You know, some of those writings say that they masturbated fucking existence into, or masturbated, or one of them is more disturbing. It says that the blood from one of those deities' penis created humans, or some shit like that. Man, we went and read those dumbass, those, they're not metaphors either. They always try to run the metaphors. No, they actually believe the deities were real. Stop it.
Says, after creating everything that my heart desires, because Gabanut creates the Sar and Set, and Set and Nephthys. Instead of creating one man and woman, in our story, we created two men and two women, and they paired off man and women, right? They just created one and called them Adam and Eve. Then after God, the God Amun goes on to say, and he talks about the arising of Ptah. Ptah is a mountain that rises up out of the primordial waters, which represent matter, right? And then he goes down and he talks about Ra. He talks about the energy, which is symbolized by the sun. So he's still talking about matter and energy. 1 second. I do have to take a phone call when my wife called. I'll make it very quick. Hello? Yeah, I'm on the show, but I'll be done in about an hour.
This nigga said this mountain coming out of the primordial waters represents matter. This is the shit they say, man. This is shit. Nigga just make shit up all day long. Oh, this represents matter and this represents energy. Yeah, right. Fuck out of here.
I'm still trying to figure out how's this going to make it.
I don't know.
She don't walk too well no more. Her hair's gray as can be.
You got to go pick her up.
That's my girl. No, not now.
Okay.
This morning she said she was daring me. She was going to take the train. So she called Mr. James. You got to pick me up. I was going to pick my baby up anyway. So I go ahead with that. But back to, when you've been with somebody for 50-something years, so thick and thin, up and down and in the valley, around the corner, I mean, that's your baby right there, right? So we come back to talking about the African Genesis story. It is a scientific treaty on cosmology and ecology. And I wish people would read the pyramid text. Okay, that's the oldest known document in the world that refers to the things we call religion in written form. Of course, there are older oral traditions, and there may be older written traditions that we don't know about, right? But anyway, they get this information, they created a book, and they take the characters out of our book. And one of the characters is, they combine it. They combine Asar and Haru to make the Jesus character. They took a Set to make the Mary character, you understand? And so, and then sometimes you'll see this, the switch, because they'll take the Set again, and make her the Mary Magdalene character, you see, the wife of Jesus. But let's come back to their story and their book and how they wrote it, right? We got up to the point where Jesus turns himself in, using his man, Judas, to broker the deal with the Romans. And the Romans released the young man, Barabbas. And we know in Hebrew, Bar means son of, and Rabbas is from the root word Rabbi, which means Lord. So the son of the Lord gets released and the Lord gets in prison, right? And so they're going to kill him. So the next day is the Sabbath day. The sun's got to go down before 5:30.
His 1-year-old son.
For springtime over here. So they got to execute him. He doesn't get to the cross until around 2:33. They got about an hour to take him out, right? Because they got to get him buried because he'll be violating the Sabbath, which is the worst thing you could do. So he's on the cross. They realize the sun's going to go down. He's got two other guys who are saying, oh, if you're the Lord, you don't take care of our business, save us, talk to the daddy and everything. So they say in their literature, they break the other two dudes' leg because they know they're not going to die. They don't have time to let them die. So
all right, man. To save y'all some time, he's gonna say that they faked Jesus' death by slowing his metabolism down, heart rate down, so it can make it seem like he resurrected.
Really?
Yeah,
back then, way back then, 2,000 years ago, they had the idea and the tools to make him seem like he died by slowing his heart rate down.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that in a movie. I saw that in that movie called Predator. You know, when they put
yeah, the new Predator. Yeah, they did do that.
He's getting this stuff from movies and video games, bro. I'm telling you, Assassin's Creed and Predator, bro.
Oh man,
Jesus ate some of that flower stuff that girl had in the Predator movie.
That was a good movie too, man.
It was good. It was actually surprisingly good. Yeah.
All right, so here's if y'all want to learn astrophysics, man, not from this damn clown. You know, I recommend this book here, Astrophysics for People in a Hurry. Can teach you. I know a lot of you guys don't like this guy because some of you guys are flat earthers. I don't give a damn. But Neil deGrasse Tyson did write a good work. So if you want to understand what the scientific community teaches, if you don't get a quick understanding of it, this is a great book. It's only 132 pages long, right? And this is basically summing up what this has nothing to do with Tefnut, the god of rain. You know? Oh man. Anyway, in the beginning, nearly 14 billion years ago, all the space and all the matter and all the energy of the known universe was contained in a volume less than 1/trillionth the size of the period that ends this sentence. This is what, you know, the standard scientific cosmology begins with, right? Conditions were so hot, the basic forces of nature that collectively describe the universe were unified, though still unknown how it came into existence. The sub-pinpoint size cosmos can only expand rapidly in what today we call the Big Bang. So that's the beginning. It had nothing to do with no damn Tefnut and, you know, a mountain coming out of primordial waters being a metaphor for matter. None of that shit. This is what science is. And the reason why I have to show you this is because he's claiming that modern science is getting this shit from the coffin text. So they ain't got shit to do with the coffin text. But I do know of a book that talks about the universe or the heavens expanding, which is a concept from Hubble, right? Hubble's expansion, right? Because he saw the red shift. He knows red shift. Red shift is universes, planets and stuff of that nature, and galaxies are moving away from us. And blue shift means they're coming towards us. Since he knows that, he was like, okay, the universe is expanding. So none of that shit is in the coffin text. None of this is in the coffin text, right? You ain't gonna learn about fucking the beginning of the universe in this manner, the way it's taught here. But again, he's saying that this is basically this is plagiarism from ancient Egypt. Give us a break, man. And here's the cover of this book. This book's not that much. I think it's like $10, man, if you want to get a quick understanding. Right. Anyway.
More of the white man's nonsense that came from us original.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is black.
Okay. Well, he learned from white men, so.
He on the white man titty. All right, anyway. Y'all ready to hear this shit, man? All right.
Make sure they don't escape. You know what I'm saying? If they're not dead. But they don't break his leg. What's that about? Now you break the other two dudes' legs so they don't get away, but you don't break his leg. That's your literature, right? Then Jesus says, I thirst. And they gave him vinegar and gall. Now what is vinegar? Vinegar is nothing but apple juice, sour apple juice, fermented apple juice. What is gall in the Hebrew language? Gall is pure poppy juice. Now you throw some poppy juice into some fermented apple juice and you get a man that to drink. You've slowed down his metabolism to the point without a stethoscope, and they didn't have one of those back then. He would look dead, but he ain't dead. Then somebody said, oh, Small, you got it wrong. They stab him in the side with the spear. Yes, your book said they did that. And then they said, and water and blood came from that. And if you ask any physician anywhere on the planet Earth, if someone is bleeding water and blood, it is because the metabolism has slowed down so slow, the brain is not calling for a lot of oxygen, so the heart is not pumping, and that's why you see the water mixed with the blood. You have to push people alive. So that's your book now. You're talking to me. You want me to tell you what your book's saying?
You're going in, Professor.
So I'm just going to drop that on you. Then he's got a boy, Joseph Arimatheus, that said, look, son going to go down. We got to get him in the tomb as quick as we can and off the cross. Why? Because he got to be revived. And that's where the sisters came in, the priestess. Who found him up? Who did they found him in the tomb? The sisters, right? Because that's what sisters do. They're the healers. They're the priestess. So they roll up in there, fix my man up, and he goes on the way he had to go. Then they're going to tell the boy, said, yo, my man has risen. He gone. But he said, for y'all to meet him at this spot. They said, no, y'all lying. He said, well, look, he said for us to tell y'all to meet him at the spot. So the disciples go and meet him at the spot, right? You know he ain't dead. Because what does this boy, we got the whole term doubting Thomas, right? Thomas said, no, I can't believe this is you. No, this ain't so. So he tells Thomas to stick his finger through the hole in his hands. That means the dude is physical, right? If you're going to stick your finger through the hole in the hand, he ain't no spiritual dude walking around in no smoke, right? So they done pull off the same kind of coup d'etat a good voodoo priest can pull off with the zombie, all right? You got some Haitian background. How does someone do a zombie piece, right? Not that movie crap, but it disrespect us. But when you can take the milk plant, that squeeze that white cream from that milk plant, I forgot the scientific name of the plant, and when you ingest that, it slows down your metabolism. It seems like you're dead. People was even buried thinking to be dead until they start fighting to get out of their box, or they call up out of the ground because they were mistakenly dead, or because they were put through some ritual where you had to be presumed to be dead. And I went through such a ritual in my priesthood. I was presumed to be dead. And I was attended to by Baba YAP. And they gave me medicine to bring me back. You know? So we know we got these rituals. So we saw that according to the Bible, if we believe your book to be the truth, then Jesus don't die on the cross. He's given the poppy juice. All right? The blood and water comes out, tell you that his metabolism had been slowed down. The brain wasn't calling for the oxygen. The heart wasn't beating fast. And so he was still alive when they took him to that tomb. The women went and do what women do. The priests and priestesses, they took care of him. And then he told them, tell them, brothers, with their cowardice little butt, who I told them the truth, they didn't believe me, come and meet me at the spot. They get to the spot. Thomas stuck his hand through the hole before he believed that was his man, because he had fell for the deal and thought his man had died. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to drop that. That's from your book. And go back. Don't miss the Barabbas piece now, that he was married to a woman named Mary Magdalene, and they had a son, whoever this guy was.
None of that shit's in that book, in the book, man. He said, that's in your book. Show me where it's at in the text. I got the Bible right here. Dang, small. Show me in this text where it says that Barabbas is the son of Jesus and Mary Magdalene, just like Avery pointed out. He would have been like 1 year old if that happened. Show me, where's that at? This shit's retarded, bro. Show me where they faked his death, slows metabolism.
That's two retarded people, bro.
And then they faked it. How the fuck he moved the damn stone? You know what I'm saying? How did he do that? That shit's stupid, bro. And they just didn't hang him up there. According to the narrative, they beat his ass. They were beating him too. So anyway, let it play.
You know, he could be Joshua Ben Quadera. He could be Joe Cephas, whatever his name was. They was a young man. See, that's what people are mixing it up. That's why I'm putting this analysis to it. Because I'm not buying into that he rose from the grave bulls. That ain't real. All right. And I'm saying if we took the very literature that you have, break that literature down. And there's a good book on this. It's written by a guy named Snow. And the book is called The Jesus Scroll. Hard to find. And Snow was assassinated shortly after doing this book. He was an Australian brother.
Professor, you know who that is?
Besides being beautiful, no, I have no idea.
All right. Yeah, I don't know either. You got to turn on your camera, miss? Oh, brother. Because some people just use pictures. Okay, that is a sister. All right.
Peace,
so yes, that is peace. How you doing?
Peace and blessings. How are you?
Blessings. I'm doing well, thank you. I just had a question for you guys. I enjoy your platform, and
thank you.
And I enjoy mainly the religious debates. And over the course of the years of listening, I'm no longer a Muslim because you know there's a lot of inconsistencies in the religion. And
I was a Muslim too, sister, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I learned a lot about the theological fallacies that people use to justify what they believe in. So I have a question for you guys. I've done some research about my.
It's so funny because it's the logical fallacies to justify what they believe in. And that's all fucking James Small's been doing throughout the whole fucking 42 minutes of this dialogue. Anyway, carry on.
Ancestors about what they worshipped in the past. They worship a deity called YAP, which is essentially a sky god, and that was our spiritual system. Do you guys think that atheism is the default?
I think she's Somali, by the way.
Before
she named a Somali god. I think she might be Somali, and plus with her being Muslim, there's a lot of Muslims in Somalia, and she kind of looks Somali in the picture.
I thought the same thing too.
It's sad that people are like listening to this stuff, even Somalis.
Yeah, they're gonna buy into it, man. Ain't nobody really educating the audiences, like no.
Yeah, but how can you believe this?
Because it's easy when you have people that are not really educated in these fields. It's easy to what's the word? Manipulate them. It's easy because they don't know.
Yeah, but still, like even dealing with the Bible and with her being a Muslim, she should know that in terms of just logically speaking in timelines. the whole idea of just dealing with this one issue, Barabbas being Jesus' son, she should, or not, I'm not just gonna put this on her, but people should know that that's not going to work if Jesus died at 33 and met Mary Magdalene in his early 30s.
I'm gonna
like
show
that alone should kind of, you know.
I'm gonna prove to you why this works.
All right, go ahead.
God works in mysterious ways.
Okay.
Where's that in the Bible? No, where's that in the Bible?
Oh, you're asking me that?
Yeah, it's not in the damn Bible. That's the point. Well, most people, did anybody fact check the shit when it was told to them? Nowhere.
It's just a slang. It's a saying.
It's just echoed. It's just echoed over and over again. And they see someone's status saying it, then it must be fucking true.
Right.
Like that's all it is.
Just like there's another one. Like I think it is.
No one's reading. No one's. This just proves that this community does not read. They don't do that.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Thank you, Kedrick. Most people, even believers, don't read the Bible. Exactly.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you guys think that atheism is a default position? Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
That's all right. That's all right. No, ma'am, I don't think that's a default position because our people didn't really worship even the thing you're calling a deity. Move the word deity and put it as a concept.
You see that? They're not deities, they're concepts. No, they actually worship their ritualistic practice. They gave sacrifices. They even sacrifice humans. Some of these African religions, just like other religions throughout the world, I'm not singling out Africa. I'm just pointing out that Africans were religious. You understand? You know, early on, the Egyptians believed that the servants had to go into the afterlife with them. So what do? They killed the servants when the king died, so they can all be mummified and buried with them. And they did worship. They sung praises to their deities. Right? They built temples for their deities. That's worship. What are you talking about? They venerated their deities. Concepts. No, they wasn't concepts. They thought these deities were real beings that had power and control. And some of them even believed that spellcasters could fight against the deities. That had nothing to do with no concept, man.
Rather than deity. What our people saw was the cosmology and the ecology. Like the Ewe have a word for it. The Ewe is a people out of Benin, Togo, and Ghana. And their word is Sogbe Lisa. Sogbe Lisa is the totality of creation. When they refer to divinity, they refer to the totality of creation, or what the white man is trying to call the theory of one. The African knew that there is just one, and every one of us is an aspect of that one. We are an expression of an aspect of that totality. It is that totality that they were interpreting by breaking it down into what we call deities, but Africans never call them deities. We from the Western mind is referring to these forces and powers of nature as deities. When I eat a carrot, I get something called beta carotene, a certain cluster of energy that is good for my vision. That's a force of nature that came from the sunlight, mixed itself with the mineral in the earth. Cosmology and ecology produced a vegetable or fruit, whatever you want to call a carrot, that will allow me to ingest it and get the necessary nutrients for me to continue being healthy and the eye level. We could do it with any parts of the body. What does vitamin A do, B do, niacin, and all of these different things? When we look at sunlight, then you say, oh, the Egyptian wasn't so crazy then, using the sun as a symbol of the deity, okay? Or of the force without which we can't live. Each of us is made up of energy and matter. The matter is the ecology, the earth, the minerals. In short, we're just dirt with water and light. And what's that word?
Atoms.
Animating us. All right. Dirt, water, and light. And here we are. If I suck all the water out of you, my sister, you'd be a handful of dust, right? Okay. But with that dust, and I put that water back, I got this big old woman, right?
Avery, what do you got to say for some of this shit? Are you just dust, water? What else you say? And light. Is that
dust,
what the
water,
human
and light? No, we can actually pull up the contents that the human body is made of. I know one thing: we're like 70% water, and we do have some earth-like minerals but it's in small traces. Like we have iron because blood has iron in it. And then we have like some other stuff too. I believe all that's a testament to, you know, the creation story in Genesis. But what he's talking about, I don't know. I looked up a long time ago the minerals that humans have. You can pull it up on Google actually if you want. But I know we're like 70% water, have a little bit of iron in our DNA, in our blood, and just other small minerals and stuff.
I mean, I didn't know tissue was dust.
No, we don't got no tissue in us.
No, not tissue. I'm talking about like our tissue, our flesh.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought you meant okay.
Yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, I know that was dust, water, and light.
No, ain't no light in us. No dust either. When I look, you can pull it up on Google. Minerals, earthly minerals in the human body, and it lists. Has a list of all the minerals.
If I take all the water out of you, you'll be done. No, that's some magical shit that you didn't came up with in your damn head. He also said no worship, and you know these things are concepts. Do you give food to concepts? Because the people are giving food offerings to Osiris and other deities, and they believe that the deity would eat the spiritual essence of the food. That they believe that gods actually ate. All right. So tell me you don't know the culture without telling me you don't know the culture. You know what I'm saying? They gave food offerings. These are not concepts. They believe that these people died and were buried. That's not a concept. Again, these people are not teaching you ancient Egyptian history.
That sounds a little foolish, but what the ancestors are trying to do is to break it down. So they not only broke down into pieces these qualities which we're calling deities into the physical forces of nature, but they broke down the psychological ones. So when I say I'm a priest of Oya, I'm not talking about a physical. I'm talking about a psycho-spiritual phenomena that has to do with change and process in the human character that is stimulated by a Shango, another energy phenomena that is desire within the human mind to want to change for the better. And as a result of those two phenomena, there's the third phenomena, an Ogun, that is transformation that comes over me as a result of the desire to change, marrying change.
Let me just get the source real quick, man. Let me just read from the source here. Pulled this book up earlier. So this is dealing with the world of ancient Egypt again. By Lacovara, page 258, under the food offering section. I'm going to go straight to this point. On some, the actual offerings were drawn, including loaves of bread and trussed fowl. In case the actual substance were not provided by a family or priest, then model ones, representations, or even the names of them written in the tomb would suffice. The standard offering formula, the Hotep de Nisu, which is written on tomb walls, stelae, and coffins, reads, an offering which the kings gives through Osiris. Invocation offerings of bread and beer and fowl, everything good and pure that a god lives on for the Ka, the soul of the deceased. Gods live on food. Gods live on food, according to the ancient Egyptians. That's why they would give these food sacrifices and stuff like that. And they would even put sacrifices, food with them when they were buried, because they believed that they would eat in the afterlife, just like the gods would do. These are not concepts. These are not mathematical equations. This is not explaining physics. You guys are fucking morons. Anyway, go back to the video. Boy, you guys are fucking morons. This is moronic, man.
Now, change and desire for change end up marrying transformation as a result of change. And that's just one level. Then we get on the physical level. Then we get on the deeper levels. We were simply trying to explain our reality to ourselves. In all of the studies that I've done and trying to learn from elders and others, we are, as humans, the totality of everything. We have all of the possibility that we ascribe to the divine those possibilities that we describe on the macro level exist in us on the micro level. And part of what a good culture should do, since the culture comes from the word to cultivate, is the educational system of a people. What is the education?
Which reminds me of the definition of religion, which is deifying one's culture.
Right.
So that's one aspect of their.
Yes, that is an aspect.
That's that definition of fucking religion.
And that's why in Africa, you didn't really have a religion. You just had the way of life. So we say on Tuesday, nobody fish because the sea needs to rest. Let her rest. We fish 6 days. We're disturbing her. Give her a day to relax. So no one in Ghana fish on Tuesday, right? There may be another day. We don't plant. You don't go in the field. Let the earth rest.
Yes, let it cultivate. So, replenish.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's recreated crop rotation. We may not have called it nitrogen, but we know when we use that soil for this one crop too long, it sucks up the nitrogen. So that's what Washington Carver taught the white man with the cotton. The cotton was sucking up the nitrogen and the soil was dying and they couldn't plant anything. So Carver said, okay, put peanuts there. The peanuts restore the nitrogen. And then you plant the cotton someplace else that season where the ground still have nitrogen. And so we learn how to work with nature and how to restore nature and keep her healthy because we and her, we're the same thing.
Yeah, we have a symbiotic relationship.
Absolutely. And that's what African culture is about. It's about the symbiosis between ecology, cosmology, and the human character. What the Europeans had done was to create mythical concepts based on some fragments from the periphery of our understanding of cosmology and ecology and present those metaphors as religion.
Okay.
It obviously haven't worked. It did not stop. Even when Prophet Muhammad, I respect the old man, he was doing right in those days since I was al-Hajj Amin Shahid. The Prophet wasn't going one day when they started killing each other for who's going to be the boss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except for Abu Bakr, all of the other caliphs were murdered by the one to come after them.
Yeah.
Even the invasion into Africa, into Egypt, but Abu al-As was an invasion that Ali opposed. He pretended he didn't get, according to history, that he didn't get the letter from Ali to turn the army back. Ali said, well, if you have already engaged the enemy, meaning the Romans, then make us proud. But if you haven't engaged the enemy, turn the army around and come back. But he didn't want to turn that army around and come back, right? So he pretended, I didn't get the letter until after I started fighting, okay? But the bottom line is, the prophet, according to their own literature, says, I come not to bring a new religion. I come to restore that which was here in the beginning. So what's the new religion about? What's up? And if you just take the passage, if you look at the surah of the cave, when he hides in the cave and the spider weaves his wave, that's a metaphor about how one escapes danger. But even in the allegory, he tells his followers to go where? To go to Ethiopia, to the land of the what? The blameless ones. Hey, go to the land of the blameless ones. And this is the first time we hear of Abu al-As, because he's the assassin sent by Abu Sufyan to murder the followers of the prophet who escapes into Ethiopia. And the Ethiopian king says, you cannot touch them because these are our brothers and sisters who believe as we do. So if this was a new way of life, then how are they believing as the Ethiopians do, who have not yet heard of this way of life? So we just need to study history, study these allegories, study these metaphors, and look at these things with an open eye and common sense. Okay. Africans believe in love for everything. The water, if you run out of water, you die. You pollute the ground, you're going to die. You pollute the air, you're going to die. Yet the people we're up against are doing all of these things. So we say, hey, stop, wait. Let's go back to our mother and our father way of knowing reality. And our mothers and our fathers' way of knowing reality is that cosmology and ecology and us, we're one. Now let's build a relationship so that it is complementary. That's the harmony and balance.
I love your perspective, Professor Small. I really appreciate your time. Thank you, SANETER, and I'm going to continue listening in.
Thank you, my sister.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. I really appreciate it.
Peace and blessings. We know that Africa is not just the place. It is not just the race, but Africa is an understanding of reality. Okay?
What? Avery, what the fuck does that mean?
From the sound of things, Africa is not a continent. It's something spiritual.
It's esoteric.
Yeah. It's not a continent anymore.
Garbage.
That same sun that shined on Africa this morning on Addis, that same sun is shining on China. It doesn't change the same sun. That same sun is doing the same thing to the Chinese body that is doing to the African body. Right? That same moon that reflects that sunlight in China is reflecting that sunlight in South Carolina. And so we look and say, oh, some days I am the sun. I give up knowledge. I give up light that you may reflect. But someday, and then you're my moon. But someday you're my sun. You give up a knowledge that I, as your moon, reflects. Because we're imitating cosmology and ecology. When we get that science right, we can have the harmony. The brothers who are Hebrews, the brothers who are Moors, the brothers who are even Christians, you ain't really got no contradiction if you read your own literature.
All right. Thank you, Professor Smalls. Like the video. Thumb up the video. All right. Yeah, let's move on. This is a new thing that we're doing. I want to bring the people in that supports and donate. Let's keep Professor Small's Cash App and PayPal in the link. I want my people to support our brother. He works for us. Understand that. He works for us. I don't know the last time you've been working for the white man. When was the last time you worked for the white man, Professor?
I don't think I ever worked for the white man.
So you work for your people all your life.
I worked at City College, but people don't understand.
He worked for his people his whole life. AKA, ain't never had a real fucking job, and I lived off you dumbass niggas while y'all actually worked for the quote unquote white man and reaped your fucking benefits. That's what that meant. That's exactly the translation of that. You niggas go work for the white man, because working is bad according to these communities. Oh, you work for the white man. You work for the white man. Meanwhile, you depend on the donations from people that work for the white man. Shut the fuck up.
Took that position at City College, and they couldn't get me out.
That's because you wanted to teach your people in City College.
Yeah,
right.
I took it. Me and Dr. Jeffries and brother Earl, and we just took the position. We took multiple positions. So we didn't get no retirement funds, okay?
Right.
We were forced to give us salaries.
And that's what I'm saying. Because of your sacrifice through the years, it is our responsibility, family, to repay our professor. With anything, we ain't asking for all your money and everything. Anything you can afford, anything you can spare, please share it with Professor Smalls. All right, my brother Black Falcon 702. What's up, brother?
Hey, peace and blessings, SANETER. And peace, hotep. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I got the chance to hang out with you. Last time you was out here in Vegas, but me and Blanche wanted to say what's up to you. We watching the show, and hopefully you make it out here again so we can treat you to a nice dinner again.
Yeah, I'm going to be out there soon. We're working on it.
Okay. So yeah, you just let us know.
To Ghana this summer. We're going to roll the Ghana.
Yeah, give me that dinner money.
Okay. And yeah,
And there's me in here with this retarded son of a bitch. He ain't got no name tag on or nothing.
Appreciate everything you did coming down and marrying me and Blanche, and we sitting here vibing, listening to the show, and yeah, man, appreciate the energy, appreciate the love, and we always got your back. We're gonna send you a Cash App later on, and just want to say what's up to you, man. We always love you. We always in your corner, and just want to say what's up to you, brother.
Thank you, brother. And you're looking good. So Blanche feeding you well, huh? You looking real good.
Oh yeah, she ain't here hooking it up all the time, man. She got her brother good. I ain't going nowhere.
All right. Yeah, I still look at those pictures at our wedding sometime and just feel good. We had a good time. It was his wedding, but I was having a good time that day. Yeah.
No, it was good. It was good.
Beautiful thing. Yes, sir.
So yeah, we looking forward to seeing you out here again, and peace and blessings.
Peace. Thank you, my brother. Peace. Jay Haru, you on the call next? What's up, Jay Haru?
Peace. What's going on, SANETER?
All right, what's up, brother?
Brother Haru, how are you doing, brother? Peace.
I'm doing good. I had a question I wanted to ask you. I've been wanting to ask this question, but I want to ask it to the right person, because being on this platform, watching this platform, we hear a lot of different discussions and debates and stuff like that. And there's a thing going around. A lot of people, some of the pastors and Hebrew Israelites, they are saying that Christianity, I guess the Christianity that we have today is supposedly an African religion, and that it comes from Africans. And I always try to ask the question, us here in America, how did we get into Christianity? How did Christianity come to us? How did we get it? Because some people, I've heard different things.
Okay, I'm gonna mess with you first, brother Haru. Are you really a Christian? Have you ever really been a Christian? Just think about it for a second. I'm not talking about going to church now. We all had to do that.
Right.
But were you ever really a Christian?
Nope.
No.
I was that was a sanctuary for it. That was a safe haven for us. That was the one place we could go. Me, you can talk. We got a picnic. We can shout.
Black Americans are not fucking Christians. They're fake Christians. You hear that? You ain't really a Christian. You just go to church. Y'all fake as fuck, because you black. Hey, this niggas say any goddamn thing, man.
And dance in an African way, and we could still call on God even if we had to use their name, but we know what we were calling on.
Right.
That book that we were talking about.
No, that's not what was going on in early African American churches. They were imitating Southern Baptist preachers or Southern preachers that were Protestants, and these Southern antebellum Southern preachers, they were loud and rambunctious when they preached. The people up north were not like that, but the hoodlums in the South, I'm talking about white European pastors, they were very loud and rambunctious when they preached, and that's where Negroes adopted that loud and dancing in church and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with African traditions at all. They got it from these damn rednecks. That's where they got it from. The way you preach, the vernacular you use, how loud you get, right? That actually come from rednecks. I mean, shout out to Thomas Sowell, man. I love Thomas Sowell's work because he just brings all that shit out, man. Y'all got to read his works.
Did earlier, the Bible. Took them 400 years to concoct it. What they put in the book, most of which came from us. But is it formulated as our understanding of spiritual, cultural reality? No. Right. They created a different formulation. They created a different trajectory. They created a belief system. We had a knowing system. And there's a fundamental difference between a knowing system and
how you gonna have a knowing system? You keep bringing ancient Egypt up, right? Ancient Egypt had a belief system. There's no way to empirically prove an afterlife. They believed that would happen. They sacrificed their servants. They brought food into the burial, and you had to be buried like that. If you were not buried with the instructions and everything, the belief was you didn't go to the afterlife. So majority of people did not enjoy the afterlife according to the context of those religious people living during that time. Majority of the commoner was buried into the goddamn sand. He did not get a luxurious burial. It's just that simple. Majority of the people were buried in the damn sand. But the people that were, able to get buried in some of these lavish burials, they were the ones thought of as going on and moving on into the afterlife. And that's a belief system. You can't prove that shit empirically. That's not a knowing system. That's a belief.
A belief system. Right. In the knowing system, you don't need no priest. You don't need no priestess. You don't need no saint. It's just you and God.
What? The ancient Egyptians had a priesthood. They had priestess that came in and sung. They were basically like flower girls. They gave food sacrifices. They venerated their deities, right? They did all those things. What are you talking about?
All right. And the collective. Our whole system is based on communal, cooperative, collective. That the family, the individual, the mate, the family, and the greater family. That we had an understanding of how the world worked that was passed down from our ancestors. What is the meaning of the stars? What is the meaning of the moon? What is the meaning of the constellation? When the constellation shifts to the left, what is happening on the earth? What is happening to the flowers? What is happening to the animal? When that star moves here, from there, what's going on in the water? What's happening with the fish? That's what our people have mastered. They had mastered cosmology and ecology. And that's what they were teaching in the culture through practice and understanding of how the universe works. What the white man tried to do is write that down on paper. You can't write that down on paper. It's too much information. You can only practice it through observing it where you happen to be. Because if you're in the desert, you're seeing a different kind of sky than the person in the rainforest. When you're in the desert, you got to respond to your ecology fundamentally different from the person in the savannah. So you're going to explain your response, and you're going to use different tools to explain your response based on the environment you find yourself in and the ecology you're operating out. But everybody's referring to cosmology and ecology and the human being's role in it. And that knowledge, which today, the white man, what he's calling science today, that's African sacred spirituality. Do you hear me?
Avery, are you there?
Yep.
What'd I tell you? What white man is calling science today is African sacred spirituality.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
Yeah, because they were talking about quarks and shit.
You say quarks?
Quarks.
Okay, my bad. I was about to say, you talking about some My Hero Academia now? We're getting into anime?
No, not quarks. Quarks.
Got it.
They were talking about blue stars. How blue stars they burn brighter, but last less. They don't last as much as red stars. And they were not fucking talking about that shit, you goofy ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you.
He's taken your spirituality and called it his science, right? And then he's taken his mythology and trying to make you think that's your spirituality. No, that's his myth and his confusion and his misunderstanding and his attempt to create a metaphor on reality that is proven unworkable because it has nothing but blood in its trail. And Dr. Clark called them all blood cults. Because wherever they've gone with Christianity, they've slaughtered millions upon millions to steal their wealth. Wherever they've gone with Islam, they've slaughtered millions upon millions. And wherever that, I hope the Hebrew extract themselves from the history of those who call the Jews, because they've partnered with the Muslims and the Christians to slaughter millions to steal.
Anti-Semitism.
That's the history.
Yo, Kyle was in my chat too. So
it's funny how backwards it gets it, because it was actually Christians, like bad Christians, medieval, Crusaders and Templars, and Muslims that killed Jews. So we got that all mixed up.
And here's the thing: the biggest players in the transatlantic slave trade were Africans. That's the funny thing about it. Portugal and Spain didn't come in and have a war with Africa. No, they came and bought slaves. They traded with the local African peoples that were already practicing slavery centuries and centuries before them.
Our history in Africa, as we begin to study, history of making sure we can provide the fundamentals. You're driving a truck, right? Or bus, right? So you're trying to make sure that you can provide food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security for you and your peoples, right? That's why you're sitting there doing that work. That is the foundational aspiration of human beings. Now, to do that, you've got to be able to engage in communal, collective, cooperative behavior around things economic, political, and cultural. And that is what culture is trying to design you to do in explaining the order in the cosmos. Look how orderly the stars, the moon, and the planets work. Let's follow that order. Okay?
All right. Hey, Professor.
Itself. And then I'm gonna end with this one. Look at nature and see how nature replaces itself.
How the fuck the stars and suns gonna teach you how to get a fucking job? Stop it with this fucking ghetto preaching shit. Oh, study the stars. They'll teach you. The stars won't teach you that shit. They go in ecliptical orbit and that's it. They shine. They give out energy. They're balls of gas. The results of chemical reactions. That's about it. You're not gonna learn deep life lessons from looking at a goddamn star, you goofy ass nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Oh yeah, you study that, man, and that'll teach you how to take care of your kids. yeah. Me studying fucking Orion Belt taught me how to be a better father. Shut the fuck up.
And regenerates itself, then learn to replace and regenerate and cleanse yourself that way.
All right, Professor, I'm not trying to cut you off, sir.
No, sir.
I just want you to know we got a line up here. They all coming in to ask you a question. We got the great Dr. Daniel LaRoche, and I see you wear glasses, Professor. Making some time to go see this brother. I've been there. Jabari White been there. Jabari White been there. I've been there. He got a beautiful office on the 100.
That nigga a European. This nigga a European. That nigga full blood. Look at him.
Oh, brother.
There's always these type of brothers that's these pro fucking African, super black niggas, bro. It's always that type of brother right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
27th Street. He got a nice place. You got to go visit him, brother.
No, I was just gonna say it's almost like an identity crisis type thing.
You seen that movie?
Like
Dear White People.
Yeah, like that. Like you gotta be, since you're mixed or whatever, you gotta be ultra black. You gotta be the blackest black person there is. And I only say that because I've seen it in real life. So they either go one way, they either go left field where they're ultra black, or they go right field and they're ultra white. It's never it's almost never in the middle. Like you accept both sides of your lineage. It's very rare to find, personally.
Yeah, it's rare, man. Look at this guy, man. He's eating this shit up.
No, I promise him I'm gonna come down.
Yeah, beautiful. It's a nice place.
Thanks. Peace, brothers. Peace, peace, Professor. Peace to you guys. I do have a couple of questions for you. First of all, I want to thank you for your teaching and your lifelong contributions to teaching.
Are you in the office? No,
I'm on vacation. I'm in Florida right now.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Look at you, man.
I had to take a break from the cold weather, so I'm
yeah,
in Florida right now. But my question is this. Right now, we've been very successful to free ourselves from slavery, from segregation, from Jim Crow. And now we have to overcome, like in the United States, we have major financial gaps between the black and white community. The average white family has a net worth of about $171,000 a year. Black families about $17,000 a year. If you're in the Caribbean, in Jamaica, for example, the Asians are ingraining themselves in the middle class, and the black middle class in Jamaica is dramatically shrinking. In Haiti, we have a lot of chaos from European and American and Canadian and French intervention with the various assassinations and coups of multiple presidents over its 200-year history. And still today in Africa, Europe has a strong economic grip throughout the continent, except for Ethiopia. So now that we've freed ourselves from the physical stuff, what do you think is going to be the best methodology, the TEPSEB, the best way for us to move forward globally in terms of, like, you know, if you had to write the top 5 to 10 things to focus on, what?
This is the idiocy of this question. You asking Professor James Small is not going to do nothing. He's not going to be able to have an answer to that. To globally fix it. Nobody's going to have an answer to globally fix any goddamn thing. And then you trying to say, oh, 3 billion people are your responsibility. No, that's not how shit works. How about you just focus on African Americans? Like, what we need to do here to get rid of the illiteracy rates that are very high amongst Black Americans. It's not a genetic thing, because Caribbeans excel. Because Caribbean Blacks excel in the maths, in academics, right? And they're very literate. But when it comes to African Americans, what's the difference between us? The culture, the backdrop. That's what it is. Y'all asking all these stupid ass questions, man. And ain't taking care of home. Because again, it's too much effort. You know, I want to put the effort in. That's all it is. You want to go with this esoteric mumbo jumbo shit. Oh, study the stars and the stars. Shut the fuck up. What are you, a fucking what's that shit on Harry Potter, the motherfuckers that study the stars, the prophecies and shit? Forgot that damn name. Hey, hold on real quick. I'm gonna get that real quick. I'm gonna get that name, man. That's what this name is. What's the name of them people? They have fucking horses and have men. I can't think of them names.
Oh, a centaur or something.
Yeah, the centaurs. Yeah, you motherfuckers are centaurs now. I received divinations for studying the stars and Orion. Shut the fuck up.
Thoughts or recommendations would you have based on your experiences?
I'm not going to skip. I tell you the truth, you get scared now. See, back in the day when SANETER was a little, I used to say each one kill one, but I won't say that. I didn't say that.
You did say it. So basically, get up and kill people. That's your answer. Each one kill one. Your answer is a bloody ass war, which you're going to lose. Black Americans, if you got up, and let's say all Black Americans got up and started to rebel in war with America. Why would you do that? I don't know. Most of you motherfuckers is on fucking government assistance. You depend on fucking America because you don't get your ass up and work. If you went out here and made all these goddamn kids because you're irresponsible, and now the government, which through our tax dollars that are working, is paying and taking care of your children and feeding your children. But you're gonna fight that system, right? You guys are nothing but a bunch of fucking communists and leftists. That's all y'all are. That's all y'all are. Oh, go kill random people. Just go fight, fight what? And why would you fight? You guys are fucking idiots, man. Each one kill one. What this brother should be talking about is how to be a successful entrepreneur, because he owns a medical practice where he prescribes glasses, right? He does that. So he's successful. Instead of teaching our people that shit, instead of teaching Black Americans that and encouraging them, you go to these cuckoo brain motherfuckers to talk about some each one kill one. Use your fucking noggin, man.
Sound like he's trying to get people landed in prison.
I know he's a small, that may not be
landed in prison. All type of bad shit happens when you go down that road.
Practical, but don't you be shocked how practical it might be. But let's come to this one. Stephen Biko gave us the answer to your question in a very simple phrase. What is the most powerful weapon in the hands of the oppressor? The mind of the oppressed. African Americans in the United States of America last year made $1.8 trillion. That was recorded, spent. Now we know there's a lot of our money that didn't record. We probably spent $2 trillion. But we'll take the 1.8 trillion. That's more money than Saudi Arabia made with all that oil. That's more money than Russia made. That's more money than Canada made. So we're not capital strapped or poor. We are disorganized and ignorant. Ignorant of the methodology that allows us to have a union around an identity. Asa Hilliard said, true freedom is to be shackled to your identity. We still arguing, am I Moor? Am I Hebrew? Am I Christian? Am I Nigerian? Am I Yoruba? Am I foundational Black American? That's silliness. And those are children's discussion because the history already tells us who we are. We're African people. Doesn't matter when we got here. If we got here before the Indians, we came from Africa. If we came over with the Malians, we came from Africa. If we came off with the slave ship, we came from Africa. The ones who are coming in lately, the new arrivals who are now migrating, they come from Africa. So what is the confusion about who we are? The confusion is fear and ignorance. the ignorance of the most fundamental history. Because if we understand, like I was telling my brother before, that food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security, you're a good brother. And I know you want to help my eyes, but you also got to feed your family, don't you? And you got to clothe your family, all right? And you got to see to their safety. And your profession allows you to do that. That's fundamental in all human community. Then how do we get control of economic, politics, and culture where we live? Well, you can't do it if you're going to spend $1.8 trillion with someone or some ones who neither live in your community, hire the people from your community, or invest in your community. That's simple. That we need to organize and make some decisions that we are not shopping, unless that's you may not necessarily have to have residence there, but you must invest there, and you must hire the people from there. If you're not doing those two things, then
you can't do that if the people that live in those regions don't have any skills. Like in the medical practice that he is in, he can't just hire random motherfuckers in the street. These people have to go to school, get some skills, get the prerequisites to even work in his practice. None of this shit makes any goddamn sense because y'all never go and say, hey, we got to go from step one, plan fucking A. That's educate these people and get them into high demand fields. What are you going to do? Open up a bunch of fucking barbershops? No, you're going to fucking figure out how to get into these high demand skills so you get high earnings. And I get tired of saying this shit because you niggas are retarded and you don't give a fuck anyway.
and we should boycott you out of business.
I ask you a quick follow-up question. 90% of the population believes in God, believes in faith. Okay. When you look at scientists with higher graduate degrees, only 7% believe in a God concept.
All right, now that's fact check that, right?
It doesn't matter if they do or don't, really, though.
Yeah, right. It doesn't matter if they do or don't, but that's fact check that because people say that a lot. Let's see. According to the poll, just over half of the scientists, 51%, believe in some form of deity or higher power. Specifically, 33% of scientists say they believe in God, while 18% believe in a universal spirit or higher power.
Right.
By contrast, 95% of Americans believe in some form of deity or higher power, according to a survey. So what the fuck are you talking about?
My bad, bro.
What were you saying, bro?
No, I was just going to say, and people forget about the concept of intelligent design. Like some agnostics may not believe in the Abrahamic God, but they at least believe in the concept of some type of intelligent designer, whether it be aliens or another God or whatever, you know.
So, and I just gave you out an article from the pewresearch.org.
And so, and this is also for SANETER, because on SANETER's TV show, he has a powerful medium that's global in terms of outreach. But I would guess that about 90% of the shows surround some religious debate. So my question is, should we spend more time on these shows talking about the things you just mentioned in terms of those, the economics, the culture, the politics, and some of those types of things to
every time I'm on, I talk about those things, and there are other shows that talk exclusively about those things. So SANETER is very popular around the world, but he's not the only show of the sort.
Okay.
So there are multiple others that talk about other topics. But the poison that we call religion, and it is a poison, anything that keeps you from providing food, clothing, shelter, safety for yourself and your family in an abundant way is a restrictive instrument of some sort. Now, people, I don't care whether they call it a Jesus, Muhammad, Allah, doo-doo-dot. When you get through walking over all of those dead black bodies, you tell me that that was a God. And I will smack the piss out of you if you're in my face when you say that. How dare you tell me that you're worshiping something that is overseeing the genocide of my people century after century after century?
Oh, you shoot.
Am I supposed to be so stupid? I'm supposed to give you, you can believe what you want. They didn't give Hitler that. They didn't give the Nazi that. They destroyed them. But more of us was killed here in America than the Nazis killed in Germany. We were in a genocidal program that lasted for nearly 400 years now. It's not over yet.
What'd you say, Avery?
Wait, that doesn't make sense. He said, is he comparing African Americans to Nazis?
No, I guess he's saying the Nazis got punished for what they did, so why other people, they did get punished. The Civil War,
that doesn't make sense.
The Civil War was the bloodiest war that the Americans ever fought. We lost more casualties in that war than any other time in history of American conflict. What are you talking about?
So it's how are we going to look at things? Are we going to keep blinding ourselves to the glass of poison that we keep ingesting? Or are we going to realize we are ingesting poison? Let's stop. If we've been on the planet, and the basic, most people know we've been on the planet a couple million years, at least a few thousand years.
Daniel
If we were
rolled
in
his
Africa for
eyes.
millions
He
of years
rolled his
before we heard
eyes.
of any Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, any of those things. And you mean these few thousand years trump those millions of years? We're the only people that's stupid enough to let that be the
Did
case.
you hear that?
And somebody needs to
Millions
call
of
us
years.
stupid because it makes no sense
He read.
that you would.
The nigga said.
And let's come back to the religion. Most of us don't believe in that shit anyway. Because if we did, it's how are we going to look at things? Are we going to keep blinding ourselves to the glass of poison that we keep ingesting? Or are we going to realize we are ingesting poison? Let's stop. If we've been on the planet, and the basic, most people know we've been on the planet a couple million years, at least a few thousand years, and we were in Africa for millions of years before we.
We've been here a couple million years.
You know, a couple million years to be on the earth. Couple million.
We've been on.
Type in like the age of Homo sapiens, or something like that.
Oh my God. Just type in the age of Y chromosome Adam.
Or that, whichever.
Yeah, modern Homo sapiens, here it is. Archaic Homo sapiens 300,000 years ago. Modern Homo sapiens from about 160,000 years ago. Not millions and millions of fucking years, James Small. To them pseudoscience.
Thinking we're all the way back in the Triassic period.
Goofy ass nigga, man.
We heard of any Christian, Muslim, Hebrew, any of those things. And you mean these few thousand years trump those millions of years? We're the only people that's stupid enough to let that be the case. And somebody needs to call us stupid because it makes no sense that you would. And let's come back to the religion. Most of us don't believe in that shit anyway. Because if we did, we wouldn't be in the clubs on Saturday night or drinking all the liquor that we drink, or having sex with all the people out of line we having sex with. We don't even believe in what we claim we believe in on Sunday. That's how we hide from facing the truth about ourselves. And if that is what you call in religion,
I mean, he outed himself because there's plenty of Christians that don't indulge in drinking and smoking and whoring around and stuff. There's plenty of Christians that I know. So he outed himself on that.
That was racist. All niggas, all they do is party all weekend and fuck around and shit like that. That was racist, man. Because he talking about niggas.
Yeah, very racist. Yeah.
We are up against a huge military imbalance, between the nuclear weapons that these countries.
If they don't kill themselves, they can't drop the bomb. So the hell with the bomb.
So you don't think there needs to be any? So there's no need to militarily counteract that in any way.
You can't. They're too far ahead.
They're too far.
And they're too far ahead. But you can't counter it if you're talking about African sacred science. You're a scientist, and as a scientist, you know that science is really the key to how people should think. All right. And much of what we call religion is really watered down, mythicalized science. All right. That somebody's going to tell you this is Z, but not going to tell you how to arrive at figuring out that is Z. I want to figure out how that is Z. Then I know that's Z. Because I want to be in a knowing system rather than a believing system. And so the way to defeat this enemy that we have is to become ourselves again. And if he wants to come with his guns, right now, we have the capability of poisoning every water system in the world if that kind of war existed. But I would never tell anybody to do that, even if you're at war, because the innocent civilian would suffer. Right now, we have the capability, right, to use our minds in ways we haven't dreamt of. We talk about voodoo and African sacred science. How many are really studying it? Even you and SANETER. How seriously have you delved into the science? You're an optometrist, ophthalmologist, right? What is it about that eye? There's no way in hell, logically, that thing should work. But it works. How the hell does it work? Past just the mechanical lensing and the shaping and light refracting and that sort of thing. There's even more. Otherwise, it shouldn't work, should it?
Yeah, my approach is not just studying the science, but also relearning African sacred science. The other man only makes up about 15% of the global population.
Right.
So people of color far outnumber him.
Okay.
So I think our approach and my approach is to bring the truth out, teach our people, reawaken our people with the truth, bring back Ma'at, make everybody else Ma'at. We have to try to get into positions of power, and we can do it.
So make everybody Ma'at. That's one of them. Make everybody conform to your stupid ass way of thinking, and that's how you're gonna take over the world. Go on some Pinky and Brain shit. What we're gonna do today, Pinky and Brain? The same thing we do every day. I mean, damn, I done fucked it up. Let me just get the damn clip.
I don't understand why people are saying, "Oh, we need to go back to African spirituality. We need to go back to African teachings and practices. It's going to help us. It's going to save us." But my only thing is, if that's the case, then why didn't it save the West Central Africans when the Europeans came and enslaved y'all? Like, it didn't work then. So why do you think it's going to work now?
Because the Europeans didn't come over and enslave them. They came over and bought people that were already enslaved.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying in their minds that Europeans came in and took us over. You know, they don't go with the idea that Africans enslaved Africans. But I'm saying, like, if it was Europeans that were coming, like an alien invasion and taking folks and snatching them up, how come the African stuff didn't help us then? You know what I'm saying?
I know. They never stop and think that shit. That's a good question, Smalls. You are a professor because you profess a lot.
Brain?
Back to the cage to...
Where are you going, Brain?
Back to the cage to plan for tomorrow night.
Why? What are we going to do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Try to take over the... Try to take over the world. Try to take over the... Ow! Perhaps we should sit out enough. Try to take over the world from Joyce DeWitt. Try to take over the world to save it from the real supervillains. Try to take over the world.
Hey, that's exactly them. The real supervillains is the white man. Oh, let me go back to that. That's perfect.
Then that needs to be clipped.
Real supervillains. Try to take over the world from Joyce DeWitt. Try to take over the world to save it from the real supervillains. Try to take over the world with the Ted Turnerator. Try to take over the world without Larry. Try to take over the world without supernatural assistance. Try to take over the world before another idiotic dance comes along. I have no idea. Take a wild guess. Try to take over the moon. Try to take over the yam. Try and take over Oz. Try to take over Chia World. Try to take over the globe. Theater. Run that.
Why? What are we going to do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world. Try to take over the...
That's basically Gene Small right there.
Bruh.
Barack Obama became the president. Jeffries is the Speaker of the House, minority for the Democrats. So we have to try to continue to ascend and try to sort of take over this system. And
what we have, that's what we've been doing.
And continue to do that, but bring back African sacred science and spirituality.
That's what we have in the problem.
Methodology.
That's what we have in the problem. Because we've already taken over the politics of America. Yeah. We pretty much can control America politically. With just a little bit more thrust with our young people being more educated on how to do and best use the political machinery and mechanisms in their local community. And we can show them how to do that in a couple of months' hard work and teaching. But that last stage is to go from believing to knowing your relationship to one another and your relationship to the universe and to this environment we live in. That's the African sacred science piece that the religion has trumped us on, because religion don't require much of you. You just have to show up one day or quote a book. It doesn't require very much of you in terms of self-transformation. But since we are into a very depraved, sick posture, psycho-spiritually, in the West now with religion, it is going to take a transformative process. Because even a lot of people who have returned to looking at the Kemetic way of approaching, looking at the Yoruba and others, they're bringing the same Judeo-Christian mentality, and they're corrupting the sacred science in terms of how it should be expressed.
All right, I'm going to fast forward this because I don't want to be up here all night. Sorry, 11. So let me go to the part where he calls a white man a devil. Oh, let's see if I can find it. Because you guys are tainting Kemet with Judeo-Christian practices. How dare you? Oh my God, where is it?
Then he realized he loved that harmony he saw. He loved that peace he saw that he had just destroyed. And then he went to work to try to see if he could recreate it and teach it to himself. And so he created his religion and his books to teach something that he had just come in and thought he had murdered because he murdered the practitioner. But you can't murder the way of being, the totality of beingness itself. How are you going to murder the universe?
I agree. And you know what? That leads perfectly into my second question. And we got a lot of brothers on here, so I'll just forego my third. But my second question is this: you said something prior to when the brother Clayton Holmes asked you, like, when he read something about women being able to birth children by themselves, not needing males and things of that nature. But I wanted to ask you first, and I don't mean to truncate.
I ain't never met a woman that felt she didn't need a male. So.
No. You haven't met one, but nah, that's cool. Okay. So listen, and I don't want to truncate the question, and I want to be as direct as I can. But do you, number one, I want to ask, but there's a part two to it. But number one, I want to ask, do you agree or accept evolution? And the reason I ask that question is because we can look at different types of species, such as Ardipithecus ramidus, Australopithecus afarensis, Homo naledi in the sort. And what we see is that populations actually evolve. We never see that just one thing evolving without its other side, meaning the other male or the female. So when you say that, the women were here first, how do you get that? When we understand in evolution, if you accept evolution, is that both genders actually evolved at the same time, the same way, like I was just showing you that Homo naledi, Australopithecus afarensis, it wasn't just the one.
None of those shit you're talking about. Somebody else made them up.
Okay, well, we just talk about ancient. We can say.
Hey, so wait a minute, Professor James Small.
We don't know nothing about it.
Hold on, wait a minute. Professor James Smalls believes that women came first. Hold on, real quick. When were X and Y chromosomes? I had to teach somebody this a long time ago. X and Y chromosomes. He should know this because remember, science was stolen by ancient African, whatever the fuck he was talking about, right? Ancient Y chromosomes origin. Let me type that in. When did we start seeing sex chromosomes? 175 million years ago. Yo, 175 million years ago. So before humans. So how the fuck you gonna start out with females? You know, it was an African woman that was first. You know, we all come from women. We just fucked up women. X and Y chromosomes existed before humans. Before humans. What an idiot. What a fucking idiot.
Whatever you want, right? Ain't nobody know when the first one of anything ever was. Okay? People are making an assumption because I found these bones there and I did a little scientific thing and that seemed older than this one. Well, wait till you find the next one. Okay? And they just found a sister, I think in it may be in Ethiopia, just in the last few months. A skull of a sister, and they said she's the oldest one, older than anything they found so far, right? And I'm saying, okay, wait till you find the next one. So I don't know enough about it to really answer that question. I can only speak on it in terms of belief. I know this is my baby, so I got to hold for a minute. Hello. Yeah,
I got him to. Yeah, you see, right?
I thought you didn't deal with belief. I thought you deal with knowing.
All right, he just said he's leaving in about 5 minutes. All right, hey, Professor. I see you said you're leaving in 5 minutes. Hold up, everybody, hold up.
Stop responding to this brother because that's an important question.
All right, go ahead, Professor, because you're leaving in 5 minutes. So
there's a lot that we don't know. So I'll put it like this: show me anybody that could show me a beginning, and show me anybody that can show me an ending, and I'll make them the wealthiest person on the planet. Oh, because in order for there to be a beginning, there have to be something already there to begin from. Right? So the concept of beginning just don't exist. The concept of ending just don't exist. We just keep reverberating.
Got you on that. Go ahead, brother. You got the floor.
I've always been here.
I just want to say,
we've always been here. Now, let me just finish. But these skeletons we find that we name because of the period of time we find them in, or the stage of development that we presuppose they're in, we're saying they're at the stage. The skeleton tell us a damn thing. We're making an assumption based on some understanding we have. So I don't know enough to say how right or how wrong.
That's the only thing I agree with him with. That is a presupposition there. But everything else, he's in La La Land in the Twilight Zone on. You know, women. We don't start from women. That's just a fucking lie.
That is. What I do know is that I, James Small, I have always existed. That's why I like the pyramid text. When Amun says, according to the ancestors who wrote the text, Amun says, I created myself out of myself. I caused existence to exist so that existing might exist. And when I became aware of my existence, Ma'at, truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, and balance was at my side. So I've always been here. There's never been a time when I didn't exist.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that, man. I'm going to go ahead and bow. Thanks, Professor James.
Thanks, and good to hear you. Get to see how you find warriors.
All right, brother. You got the floor.
I need to bring my behind Brooklyn, so we don't have to cut it short in a few minutes.
All right, come on, make it quick. All right, froze.
Yeah, I just want to say hi. Just want to say hi to the great teacher, Professor. How you doing, Professor Smalls? What's good, man?
I'm good, sir. You know, it's always good to see you. I
you
needed
hear
to
me?
call you every now and then. I missed the last few weeks.
We hear you,
That's
Unc.
all
We ain't
good.
got time
We
for your
gonna
mix
connect.
up, brother.
No, what I would like to say is that this gentleman right here gave me my inspiration to be able to have the heart to stand in front of y'all. And it's these private conversations that we had. And what I learned is he'd be like, "Uncle, come over here, starting that." He said, "Yo, I can't see the wall." He said, "You're supposed to stand on my shoulders, right?" So I always come with standing on your shoulders. They should stand on the shoulders of Diops. Standing on the shoulders doesn't mean you agree with everything he said, but standing on the shoulders means that you have the value and the sophistication, right, to add to the daggone piece. We do not say, "I'll give you the same book that you gave me, Professor Smalls." You say, "Read this." You said you wish you would have read it first. I'm still reading, right? Here you go. We start with this and we end in the scientific journals. So I appreciate Professor Smalls. I stand on his shoulders, man. Y'all can come up here and flim flam and bam bam boom, right? But to do this, man, great, is to stand on his shoulders and add to it. Simple as that. And with that, appreciate you. Next time you're in town, I'm coming to get you.
Oh, you's a dick sucker, bro. You's a dick sucker. You supposed to be the God killer, pseudo killer, all this shit. You ain't get on there and crush him. Fuck out of here, nigga. You's a dick sucker, bro.
We want to be seen as a people, and we want to be treated as a people. So often when the table of pan-Africanism is set, the African American has to come to the table as the invisible party. And what they're saying is that I have as much right to sit at that table with my identity and culture as someone who says I'm Jamaican at the table. I'm Nigerian at the table.
I don't know where it's at, man. I mean,
That even you have been through on this continent, let alone the history of genocide I've been through in the Western Hemisphere or in the Pacific or so forth. But it's our job. That's where history is going to help us erase the mystery. And we got to have a dialogue of unity, no matter whether we agree or disagree with one another on where we stand. Let's agree that we belong to the same mother and the same father, Africa, though we've been dispersed all over the place. And let's try to find a common good for the greater group so that we can provide food, clothing, shelter, safety.
Wait, what?
And that we can take control of the economic politics and culture where we live, whether it's in Jamaica and we're taking it back from the Chinese, whether it's in Ghana, unity, no matter whether we agree or disagree with one another on where we stand. Let's agree that we belong to the same mother and the same father, Africa, though we've been dispersed all over the place. And let's try to find a common good.
How does SANETER not even,
man, so that we can provide food, clothing, shelter, safety to ourselves and our family. And that we can take control of the economic politics and culture where we live, whether it's in Jamaica and we're taking it back from the Chinese, whether it's in Ghana and we're taking it back from the English, whether it's in New York and we're taking it back from the Jews. So let's find out how do we take control of economic politics.
We gotta take it back from the Jews. See, I told you these people jealous of Jewish people, bro.
Yeah, it got some ingrained anti-Semitism.
Oh, we need to take it back from the Jews. Take what back from the Jews? The Jews worked hard and established themselves. They believe in family. They believe in cultural things that help and boost them. How about you say we need to be like them? It ain't never be like them. Oh, we need to each one kill one, suit up and boot up. No, nigga. Just learn how to be better people. That's it. You gotta kill somebody or hate somebody because they're in a higher position statistically than the average African American. You understand? Like, this is so fucking dumb, bro.
And culture where we live. How do we get control of land, labor, and resources where we live? How do we get to be responsible for food, clothing, shelter, safety, and security for our families? That's what the discussion should be about, no matter what the differences are. And we work through the differences as we fight for those common goods.
Okay, all right. Real quick. Where I go. All right, Morpheus is in the building. Morpheus.
Hey, Baba, peace and blessings to you. How you doing?
Blessings, Brother Morpheus.
Okay, there's a quick question. All right, here's my question. You've been through well, a lot of people who's on the show, on the platform, in the chat room, weren't born then in the 60s, some in the 70s, right? But you've been through a lot of those different stages that we've been through. My question for you is, seeing that you have walked through those stages, do you think that we are today at a standstill? Are we moving forward, or are we digressing? Being that you've seen those different changes, movements, because it seems like today, to me, we did more with less. Now we have, all this technical information, and everybody can get on Google and all this stuff. But it seems like we are information overload, and nobody's moving anymore. So I'm like, we are the movement. So my thoughts is, what do you think? Do you think we're moving forward? We at a standstill, or are we going backwards? That's my question.
That's the last question. That's the last question, y'all.
That's a good question, my brother. And I think that we're moving forward. But let me tell you where I see the weaknesses: the consolidation of the movements. We see Black businesses are growing exponentially, right? Over the last 10 years, more Black banks are opening. More Black young people are coming out with college degrees and technical degrees and to work in the world. We see even the poverty level at the urban level, where a bulk of our people in the major cities are going down. But what we don't see, we have not been able to put together the mechanism to catch the ones that fall through the net, right? And so we still lose them because we are big people. They lied to us and said we're 40 million. Then they said we didn't count 20%. Okay, now I'm 60 million. Then they didn't count the blacks who speak Spanish. Okay, now I'm 80 million. Then you didn't count the blacks who speak French. Oh no, so now I'm 90-something million. So I'm the largest ethnic nation in this country. I ain't nobody minority. But how do we organize this? How do we get?
We're 90 million strong here, Ivory.
Of course. We're actually 1 billion strong, actually.
This nigga just said 90 million. Pulling numbers out of his ass.
A movement that to say one Africa is not just a terminology, it's not a phraseology. That's why we got to be a little nervous about the attack on pan-Africanism. Because all pan-Africanism means is one Africa. You know what I'm saying? We're going to come together. Our pan-Africanism was a process that the boys and Pablo and the others put together at that time in history. We may have to come up with a new process for unity. And how do we look and assess and appraise our victory? Because we've had enormous victories. Do you think that the Asians who are coming to this country, the Vietnamese, would have done as well as they've done if we had not opened all these doors? We created a phenomena here that any poor people anywhere in the world can come. But we are the enemy because we are the ones that have the idea of a different America. Everybody else want to join the white man. They just go, give me a salary and be just like you. We'll say, hell no. We've been through this with you for 400 years. We do not want to be like you. We want a different kind of country. And so we're always the target. But we know that. So we have to really assess our victories and then understand the areas where we've been defeated and then renegotiate how we go about them. And so sometimes it can be, you know, we got the new technology. We need to use it better sometimes when it comes to conferencing, you know, because it really doesn't matter. He's got the technology to know what the hell we're talking about. So the hell with him. Let's talk free. I don't care whether he hear me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to do what I'm going to do whether he hears me or not. That's what I've been doing all of my life. So if he kills me, so what? I got you. I'm eternal. He can't kill me. Malcolm X is eternal. Every one of you are Malcolm X. Every one of you are Elijah Muhammad. Every one of you is a Drew Ali. In some aspect. Because all these people were with an idea of how to be free human beings in a just perspective in the world. That's what we're fighting for. And so we have to find new ways of trying to appraise and assess our situation and see where we have to fix what needs to be fixed and recreate the new ideas and things we need to recreate. But brothers and sisters, I do have to leave because my wife is waiting and I don't like to keep her waiting like that. She's all the way out in Brooklyn, so I got an hour drive to get to her and then we got an hour's drive back home. That's been my baby for 53 years. Wow. When you're hanging out with somebody from the time she was 18 and now she's going on 71, that's your baby. Even if she's a pain in the behind, that's my baby, all right? And I got to get her home and make sure she gets some dinner and everything. So it was an honor just being here. I called SANETER and said, look, I need some money today. I got to go and pay for the garage tomorrow because I got to go to BMCC. You know, people say, oh, he's Professor Small, but I never worked. I worked in the system, not for the system. So the system don't reward people like me. You know what I'm saying?
You see that? He never worked.
You are the only one that has allowed me to do all the things I've done. And I've done some shit. Sometimes I think of it, it scares me.
All right. Hey, Professor, in closing, your sister Freedom, she says, what do you feel about Martin Luther King being blamed for our failures?
Dr. King was a soldier in the revolution. He had a different methodology to go about it. And he wasn't as different as you think it was when you really read his speeches and hear what he's saying to us. They murdered another one of our soldiers at 39 years old. We're not going to fall for the trap that they put us in with Booker Washington and even the proteges of Frederick Douglass was still working with the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. And they didn't let the differences block them out. And that's what we have to learn to do. I want to be free. But I have to go, my brothers and sisters. I love you. Thank you for everything. It's been a nice day. I love this discussion. We got to do it more often because these questions need to be addressed and we need to put it out there until we get it to where the young people are hearing us. And don't condemn those young people who talk about Foundation Black America. Let's get with them and teach them the right way because if we don't give them guidance, the enemy will. It's as simple as that.
All right. I want to say thank you, Professor. Love you, man. And
love you, brother.
Thanks for coming.
Shut the fuck up.
What I would like to say is that this gentleman right here gave me my inspiration to be able to have the heart to stand in front of y'all.
Hey, I ain't never met a woman that thought she didn't need a male. So.
No. You.
Yes, that house that you live in, that body that you got, it's going to deteriorate, and then it's going to go right back to the dust that make it up because we're dirty. Needed the black community. White folks didn't mess with us. Our dog didn't like white folks. I mean, on mysterious, they shot the dog. Never lived, and they poisoned the dog. But that dog would not let any white people come on our property. White people, but no white people come on the property because the dog reflected the sentiment of the family spiritually. All dogs do, you know. So Andrew Small, Susan Small, Martha, that's my grandparents.
We have 4 different dads, but we all have our first brother's last name, which is Home.
My father's name is Brockington. I have my grandparents.
Y'all trying to find this one part, man.
He said Philip. His last name is Wyndham. My last name is supposed to.
So he just that was just a family thing, you know, and especially those in South Carolina. Try and create a document that would create an ethical, moral.
Anyway, man.
Music was the one way that we could.
Maybe I'll cover the second half of this shit tomorrow. It's bullshit. I went popcorn watching this. Pixar, Walt Disney shit. But he makes a statement that even Africans don't know the devil's a white man or some shit like that, and we have to show them that because they didn't go through the genocide that our people went through, and they did, but they're not educated. I wanted to get that scene so bad. So everything he says, like he was talking about, my dog didn't even like white people. See, he just trying to put everybody back in the 40s and the 50s.
I thought I heard him say that, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, he did say that. He did.
Wait, the dog don't like white people?
My dog didn't like white people because my parents didn't like white people, and they reflect the sentiments. So that's why you talk the way you talk today. You're 70-something years old. It's 2023, and you're holding them grudges from the 40s and the 50s and 60s and shit, and not moving on. This is that redneck mentality I was talking about, man. But we'll cover the second half tomorrow, man. D-Red, get your mans. Get your mans, man. James Smallbrain. We'll cover the second half tomorrow, y'all. We out of here.
They done left me in here with this retarded son of a bitch. He ain't got no name tag on or nothing.
Bitch, who raised you?
Yeah, y'all. And remember, stay shiesty.
Whoa. The fat crib. Okay. It's clown free shit. MMG shit. I'm the same nigga. 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 Same old street nigga. I'm the same nigga. Same old trap nigga. I'm the same nigga. Same old Mac nigga. I'm the same nigga. Poor nigga. Mad nigga. Yeah, serve a nigga that fits. In the hood with a stick. Mine said get rich. On cuz that's it. I was working that scale. Really beating that pot. In the hood with that drop. Trying to ride me a drop. Selling working my socks. Get the dough with my Glock. Pop a nigga through the peephole. All that funny shit can get stopped. Hey, niggas know about the kid now. Yeah, niggas know you get stick down. SK hold 3 now. That 3 harm get sweet down. Ballin'. Bustin' fucking all these niggas hold now. Trust me, I'm clutching. Wrecked up in a geek now. Same nigga you hating on be the same nigga with your bitch house. Drunk and fucking your bitch mouth. Beating it down your big cat. I'm the same nigga. 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 Same old street nigga. I'm the same nigga. Same old trap nigga. I'm the same nigga. Same old Mac nigga. I'm the same nigga. Poor nigga.
I'm the same nigga still moving grounds in the dope. Move 100,000 chopaholic. Muscle gang, Lex, Louis 10 shooters in a Uber. Pull up on your baby mama, pussy nigga. Same time, I'ma roll it though the time wrong. Same block, niggas grind on. Same light, niggas shine on. I'm the same nigga with the Range Rover, ride dirty while the 12 rollers. Cans ashy from the baking soda. I was cooking up the Coca-Cola. Fiends, how you dabbing for that check? Trap booming, I ain't missing yet. Same nigga from the same hood. Same gang got a Hollywood. Catching plays, I been running routes. 5 years, I'm gon' run the south. Ain't no secret, bitch, I'm in and out. Buying wings, stopping Waffle House. Sold straws, taking money back. Kill them hundreds like a psychopath. Same nigga with a lot of cash. Same nigga with the same rags.
I'm the same nigga. 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 Same old street nigga. I'm the same nigga. Same old trap nigga. I'm the same nigga. Same old Mac nigga. I'm the same nigga. Poor nigga. Head nigga. Yeah.